Guess what, everyone? It's my birthday! Woo!
Happy birthday to you. Join in.
Happy birthday. We'll get demonetized.
Oh no, we will.
What day is today? It's Andy's birthday. What a day for a birthday.
Super. Look at that crazed pile of stuff. Now, if you don't know out there, I am diabetic, so I can't have normal cake. So Lindsay has made a pile of stuff. So I'm going to make a wish that today's episode is as bonkers as I expect it to be. So that's my wish. They all know who they're playing. It's fair to say that they are playing some pretty crazy characters today, of which you've probably heard of one or two of them. Anyway, here's my wish.
Cheers, cake.
Excellent.
I've got a little tub of extra.
I totally want a bit of that. Let's get rid of all the smoke and say, okay, today is episode 51.1. It's got a long, sprawling title that, without my notes in front of me, I'm just going to say it as,
Man and his grumpy dog.
The curious tale of a one-eyed
is it
man
Curious
and his
Tale?
grumpy dog.
Is it Curious Tale?
The unlikely.
I think it's unlikely. Yes, the unlikely tale of one man,
A
the one-eyed man
man
and his grumpy dog. Yeah, quite. Today's episode's going to be super fun. You may notice that we don't have an Ed because Ed accidentally realised that a 6 is not a 9.
Supernumerate.
So his supernumerate definitely came into play. I'm still having some of this bullshit. Excuse me.
Much like when Have I Got News For You replaced Roy Hattersley with a tub of lard, we've replaced Ed with a tub of aioli.
There we go.
Brilliant.
Miss you, Ed.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's actually quite tasty. What the heck?
You seem surprised.
Well, it is the unlikely tale of something I whipped up based on
Lindsay
what
made
was
it.
available on Morrison's delivery.
That's a cookie. Okay, it's a cookie. So, yeah, today's episode is going to be a little bit silly.
Nailed it.
The core reason this episode is going to be silly is because we have an opportunity to have a silly episode because of the very crazed antics from episode 51. If you haven't watched episode 51 and you just happen to turn up today to watch this one, I will warn you right now. A massive storm of magic was unleashed by our PCs, and that has had a significant effect in the surrounding area. In particular, this group of individuals and Lucas and their dog have got something to deal with. I'm quite looking forward to this.
You say us, but it was the dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Andy's imagination.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Oh, they're quite tasty.
Never apologise.
Feed the goblin!
No, she can wait.
So it's my birthday episode.
What did you think of the cake? It's my own recipe.
Okay.
Such a good housewife. Sorry.
Bloody hell. Excuse me, I'm the housewife around here. Thanks, you can tell by the untidy house.
It's Alvin and Wife's summer strawberry cake.
Summer. So, beyond the fact we're eating here, and it's very rude.
Shall I take over?
Would you like some stream?
Do you know what we're doing on
No.
Inside the Rookery this
No,
week?
But I can improvise. I didn't even know we're doing one this week.
Yes, we are, and it's going to be Andy's birthday wishes.
Oh, nice.
Okay, it's basically going to be us chatting about birthday stuff. Not birthday stuff, about what we'd like the gaming industry to do. If we could do anything we wanted, which is going to be basically, we sell loads of things and everyone buys Dark Deeds! I don't have a copyright here just
My
now,
copy-
although I have the game in front of me.
My copy turned up.
Oh,
Very
awesome.
quick.
Right, so, let's get into the fun parts of this before we go live with the episode itself. Number one, we have an episode of Inside the Rookery tomorrow at 7 p.m, and it's going to be kind of my birthday episode, which is quite nice. But in reality, it's going to be just us sitting down having a good chat about what we would like from the gaming industry, because we ourselves have got opinions and it's always fun to share those. And if you've got opinions about things that you would like to see, then come along and share them with us, because we'll bring those up during the stream. Also, this Sunday, we're doing a Lore Beers on Joseph Bugman, which hasn't been advertised as of yet, but is definitely happening. Everybody's favourite dwarf brewer who goes totally mental when his brew house goes boom. He's also, you might not know, one of the oldest characters that Warhammer has. He was in Warhammer First Edition, Joseph Bugman, all the way back in 1983. So as characters go, he's got a pretty long legacy. So we're going to be covering that on the Sunday, which is going to be also super, super fun. If you are watching this on the video on demand later, they will be available on Lore Master Sotex channels for the Joseph Bugman video, and for the Inside the Rookery channel, it'll be on the Rookery Publications channel. Right, yeah, I'm totally losing it because I want to eat my thing.
Roll credits.
Twice.
Other than that, the characters today are fun, and they all have somewhat of a mission, a secret mission, sort of, a goal, a thing that they need to do, because it's a birthday episode. And I always love it when I throw out these random bits and pieces to see if they get to do them. So this one comes with a prize, because it's birthday prize. Birthday prize.
I don't trust them.
You've been stung.
Yeah.
It's extra corruption, isn't it?
No.
You get a mutation, and you get
A prize. Your prize, what is it? Should you succeed and get your goal in place by the end of the episode, you will receive a Michty fixed roll,
That was
where you can fix a roll anytime before the Horned Rat section comes to an end. Which means it's not just for next session. That could last for another 4 or 5 sessions, or 1 or 2, or 12, depending upon entirely what you do. But during that time, you'll have an opportunity to fix a roll. And that's potentially a big thing.
No, you go. Mine was, is it per player or per player character?
Per player.
So
Okay.
we carries over to our next character. Yes,
I
exactly.
would like to ask a couple of follow-up questions. Number 1, will we know when we're at the end of the Horned Rat?
Yes, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Oh, when it's finished, I'll
Number
say
2,
we're
you
done.
say fix a roll. Is that a roll that I as a player make, or any roll?
Any roll.
Oh, that's even better.
We can fuck Gerhardt up.
During the ads, let's all share our secret goal and let's all achieve it.
Perfect. Now,
Break.
if you all
Oh,
achieve your goal,
He said the quiet part out loud, Dan. Now he knows.
if you all achieve your goal, Gerhardt gets a fate point.
Ooh.
Oh,
You could
okay.
do with one.
Let's all just go about our day.
So he'll get a prize. As is often the case, the person who's not here gets an opportunity to get something.
I feel like 5 fixed rolls is better than 1 fate point.
If none of us get our goal,
I'm getting to that.
Lucas gets a fate point.
If none of you get your goal, one of my NPCs of my choice gets a fate point.
Oh. That means I can dismember Dagmar twice. That'll be fun.
And finally, because it's my birthday, I'm going to let the Corner Goblin offer up at the end of this session one additional little prize. Are you okay with that, Corner Goblin? Yes. Excellent. That's a mighty yes from the Corner Goblin. And our Corner Goblin, producer over in the corner, is going to be offering a prize of her choice. And that she can decide who gets it and for what. But she has to say exactly why it's been passed over. It could be role-playing, a particularly funny moment. It could be a deed that was just freaking enormously cool. It could literally be anything. But the
home every week.
character who gets it, and let's swap the language there, the player who gets it gets a fate point. Because it's my birthday! Okay, are we all cool?
Yeah.
That's not a fate point for someone else. That's literally a fate point for yourself, just to make sure that, you know.
Although if Liverpool gets it, it kind of is a fate point for someone else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say one other thing, because it's obviously my birthday today.
It's your birthday?
It's my birthday today. And I'm delighted it's my birthday today because everybody loves a birthday. It's not Joseph Bugman this Sunday because we missed Laura Beers last week.
It's ghouls, apparently.
It's ghouls. Holy crap, because we missed last week. So ignore that. It's on the LAWhammer channel. It's ghouls. It literally just came to me at that point because it's my birthday stream, because it's the birthday Laura Beer stream. So it's all about ghouls. Joseph Bugman's the week after. It'll be coming. Worry not. Getting everything wrong. It's my birthday though. I'm allowed to.
He's been insufferable all day.
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
I would like to put out a quick thank you also to a certain Mr. Mark Gibbons, because I received one of the original pieces of art from the Skaven Army list for my birthday today from Lindsay. Thank you. And Mark, thank you very much. It's lovely. And I'm going to put that up the wall, but we haven't put it up yet. It's currently sitting in this lovely cardboard box, which, by the way, if you ever receive anything from Mark Gibbons, he wraps like a fucking... It's hard to unwrap what he has bound up. So much cardboard, so many layers of tape, so many... Oh no, what if I accidentally somehow break through and tear the piece of art in the middle apart? It was
tense.
It was a tense moment, but yeah, very well wrapped is the answer to that one. So, are we good to go?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Alright. My birthday episode.
Uh-oh.
Do not expect this one to be normal.
I should say it's also my birthday today, but I didn't want to take the shine off.
Again?
How old are you?
50?
Yeah, that checks out.
That's how old I feel.
So with that, I think it's time for us to move into episode 51.1. It is going to be a somewhat unlikely tale of a one-eyed man and his grumpy dog. As Lucas made his way over the broken landscape, his eye patch getting rubbed at as he looks back at where his party of friends had disappeared behind some other rocks. He's worried. Not just worried for them, but somewhat worried for himself. He doesn't often wander around by himself in the Middle Mountains by a great cursed monument where all manner of hell may be present, surrounded by potentially armies. But he's also oddly amused and chuckles to himself. Perhaps nervously. This'll be fine. It'll be fine. And indeed, for the next 2 hours, as he picks his way over towards the Middenheim part of the camp, it is fine. And then it isn't. Magic. Magic. Over by Brass Keep are glorious heroes. We're responsible for removing a collar of corn.
Whose fault was that?
I don't think it was the Glorious Heroes' fault.
I think that is not unfair. The glorious heroes remove a collar of corn.
Objection, Your Honor.
And our glorious heroes, somewhat unwittingly, unleash all of the magic that had been stored and held in place at the centre of Brass Keep. And everything goes wrong. For Lucas, it's a little bit like he was making his way over some loose rubble, looking at the burning torches ahead, his heart rate now settling down to I think I'm going to make it. It's all fine. I think I'm going to make it. And then suddenly, it's like someone just swipes across and changes the world. The mist that had been gathering around Brass Keep is suddenly everywhere. The clear camps that were ahead just move away, which is deeply unfair to someone who was aiming to be there within the next 5 minutes. The mountains to either side fall into shadow, and the magic that swashes out changes his perceptions entirely. Indeed, the magic that's coming from there is so powerful that it arrives before it was unleashed. Magic. Yeah, magic. And from Lucas's perspective, he goes from being in a very dark, very dry, very cold environment to a dream. Where everything looks strange, like he's seeing it through an underwater filter. And things are popping up and growing and disappearing. A tree goes through its entire life cycle to one side of him as he goes, oh, bugger. And looks to either side. Off towards the other side, a wolf lopes by, turns into a fox, turns into a dog, turns into a cow, turns round, lows at him, and then just wanders off behind a rock. The sky goes through different colours, and it takes a small amount of time before this mess stabilises. The ground comes alive with creatures, some of which disappear and die, other which stick, and then very quickly it solidifies into something. He blinks his eye. Like so. Trying to make sense of what he's seeing. I think I might be asleep. I've fallen asleep. Or maybe they did something. Because, you know, it wouldn't be the first time something like this has occurred. But no, it would be. As he looks around and goes, oh, bugger, what do I do? Oh, bugger. And Lucas, unfortunate man that he is, spends an hour walking through a lurid alien landscape that slowly settles into something that is at least consistent, as the winds that had risen have settled around here and turned it into something chaotic. He passes by a small forest of purple and green trees. The trunks of the green part. He passes by some weird growths. One creature looms down at him from above. It looks like a mixture of an owl with human hands and a face more like a lion. And he just looks at him. He moves around that. He frequently checks himself. And finds that he's not sure how much time is passing. It'd be easy to say he's been here for an hour. That's what he's saying to himself. It's been an hour. Tick-tock. But time is no longer sort of making the same sense that it did before. I think I might have gone where Leopold went. Oh God, how did I get here? Maybe Leopold did this. Maybe it was him. Which is obviously very fair. As he looks around, I just don't. And around the corner of a large rock comes Meat Pie. He's followed the scent. And he comes up, tail wagging. Reaches the foot of Lucas and then goes, "Arr! Oh, fuck it. Oh, fuck. Hello. Hello. Well, at least, I and then looks at him. Are you Meat Pie? I'm hallucinating. I'm probably just, I've fallen unconscious, haven't I? I'm just sitting under a rock. I fell over. He very well might be right. Because the winds that have blown over could have easily toppled him and left him in a dream realm. But he could very well be here also. He has no idea. At least you appear to be. And he puts his hand up. Please don't bite me. Please don't bite me. Please don't bite me. I'm going that way. And Meat Pie just runs off in that direction. Oh,
That's my boy.
Right. And he follows after. This turns out to be relatively useful. Over the next however many times, there are various nasty creatures ahead. Meat Pie runs out, back, and goes in a different direction. Lucas does not pay attention to this the first time, regrets it when he sees this lumbering thing with growths out of one side of its body and multiple eyes down one side of its face, which blink and wink at different points, and a growth of thumbs sticking out from its thumb chin?
It's thin. Come on.
Chum.
No. As he goes back and decides that Meat Pie is perhaps a good guide. I've read fairy tales where you get guided by animals out of terrible places. So you're my fairy, Meat Pie. Meat Pie apparently likes this as he wags his tail and wanders off. Meat Pie and Lucas wander forever. They don't know how long they've been here. Meat Pie has definitely eaten a lot of things. Most of them small and wriggly. Most of them with a certain amount of relish. Lucas has eaten nothing and doesn't feel hungry. Lucas is now, by this point, confused and, by his own judgment, I think I might be feeling a bit drunk. As he rubs at his eye. I just don't. As he sits down on a fleshy rock. And goes, oh, I don't know what to do. And Meat Pie darts off. It's sometime later when Meat Pie returns with a pal, a friendo he has somehow managed to meet and somehow managed to befriend. The voice, indeed, that comes out from it calls, come back, dog. And that's you. In how does he talk?
He talks like this. Come back, dog.
As Lucas looks up and goes, oh, shit. Guests. As he stands up. Oh, God. I'm not prepared for this. As Meat Pie comes running over and goes, there's most squiggly things over there if you want to eat them. Runs over. Lucas nervously plucks at his long coat, adjusts his hat, which is hanging down slightly to the front. Goes, right, here we go. And around the corner comes a very thin old man, entirely bald on the top, except for a single top knot that hangs down, pure black hair, betraying the age that his face suggests it should have. As he goes, hello. Are you real?
I am. Are you?
I hope so.
Forgive my impertinence. Do I know you?
He looks at you. I think I'd remember you. You're quite striking.
Thank you.
Dusty. He says, I suppose that's the... have you gone through a dust realm or something?
These are peculiar circumstances.
I
Yes.
don't understand what's happening. Am I awake? Am I asleep?
You are in the midst of a storm of magic.
Could be either then.
I believe I am awake.
Huh. Sorry. My name is Lucas. Lucas Mueller, he says. I work for House Jungfreud in Reichland. A pleasure to meet you in these untoward circumstances. I am personally of the belief that I'm dreaming. He nods once.
I believe I am awake, but it is a pleasure to meet you, Lucas Mueller.
Yes.
My name is Dieter Helschnicht.
Oh. Really?
I see my fame precedes me.
Right.
You have no cause for concern.
I don't.
The stories that are told are full of lies and incomplete truths and misappropriations.
I didn't wish to be blunt, sir, but are you a necromancer?
Well, yes. But that is not a bad thing.
And did one ride against Middenheim?
Well, I was provoked.
Hello.
It is an interesting story. Perhaps a story for now or for later. It's a long story.
Oh, gods. He says, oh, gods. Meat pie?
It is exactly to do with the gods, indeed.
He said, looks over, meat pie?
I was betrayed.
Meat pie, heel! He says, meat pie, heel!
Is this dog yours?
As meat pie. Strictly no. Belongs to a friend of mine. Her name's Birdie. But at the moment, I suppose I'm more his. He's been guiding me through this place. I like to think of him like my spirit guide. He's getting me out of here. I hope. He found you. Meat pie? I mean, was that wise?
I think so. First of all, you are also misguided, I'm afraid.
Oh,
If you wish to make it out of this, we must make it to the heart of this.
Well, that sounds awful.
We have to stop this storm, or there will be no escaping.
It doesn't appear to be a storm. It just appears to be...
It is a storm of magic. Believe me when I say I know magic.
Yes, of course. I imagine you would, sir. Of course. Of course you know magic. So, which direction do we go then? Meat pie wags his tail and darts off to the right. Oh, see? Well, I think I'm following my dog. And looks at you. You don't need to follow if you don't want to.
Feel like the dog's going in the right direction?
You're not sure. You don't know where the heart is.
Well, for now, let's follow the dog.
You've been wandering blind, and
The dog's found you this guy.
Exactly. I believe this dog knows what it is doing. I will accompany you.
charmed.
So tell me more about yourself, Lucas.
Charmed. There's little to say. He says, I work as an advisor. He says, to young Freud from Reichland. And
Are you also from Reichland?
No. I was born in the south of Midland. Golly, he says.
Not Middenheim.
As he looks at you. Are you really? I mean, are you? My dream is strange. He says, well, you know, yeah, if one is in for a fennec, one should be in for a crown. He says, so, one must ask, what do you think of the title Doomlord? He says, I mean, one doesn't often have the opportunity to speak to what is possibly one of the great, well, how can we say this politely? Let's say adversaries of the Elector Council Midland. So, given that I have the opportunity in my strange dream, what do you think of said title? Is it one that you take on board and accept as your own? Or is it more of a title that you would rather not be used? Sensational for broadsheets, for example.
Historically, I have pretended to view it with some disdain, but I must confess, deep down, I love it.
Right.
I don't know why I admitted that. But it is true.
This place is strange. It makes one, I feel drunk. I think that's the closest that I can describe it.
The magic, it is intoxicating.
Right. So you can see the magic? Not really, no. It's broken.
Feel it.
Oh, right, of course. Of course. As Meat Pie comes running back, yipping, tail wagging, and darts off to the right. Oh, right.
Does he often do that?
One does not really make any attempt to divine the course of that animal. It can sometimes be extraordinarily friendly and sometimes go for your fingers, bite them off entirely if it gets an opportunity. And left, right, up, down, it just goes wherever. Normally follows Birdie. And sometimes sits inside one of her pockets. Very big pockets.
And this Birdie, where is she now?
I don't know. I was separated from them. They were making their way over towards a place called Brass Keep. Yes. And
he would have deduced that is probably that is ideal. That is likely where the center of this...
I'm not supposed to be going there. I'm supposed to be going away from there. I've been given express orders not to go there. Just to make sure that we're very clear about that.
Of course.
And there was a very angry bright wizard who was very keen that I didn't go there.
I mean, if there was an angry bright wizard in this storm of magic, there is likely a very angry pile of ashes in Brass.
Oh, shit. You don't actually think that would be the case?
This magic is powerful. It is too much for lesser minds.
Shots fired.
Indeed, even I would be loath to practice magic.
Right.
This.
No, of course. Dieter Helsnick Doomlord. Absolutely. Yes. Of course. To Braskeep then. Which direction is that? I'll admit, I'm a bit flustered.
Let us follow the dog.
And indeed, following the dog leads you round a corner to a dwarf. Amongst a pile of stones, some of which are precariously piled atop each other in ways that they should not be able to balance, sits a very confused dwarf. She has long blonde hair which goes down to the ground, hanging in heavy braids down either side, and a crown upon her head. Blocky, rune-marked all the way around. And beside her, sitting on its heavy hammer head, is a warhammer. A long leather thong hanging from it. Not that sort of thong, just in case you wanted to go there. Just making sure, get it out there. It's a birthday stream. We accept these things happen. She's dressed in full mail with plates over it in several places. She has on one cheek a rhyme of tattoos, dwarven runes, one of which is glowing ever so slightly beneath her eye, which also ever so slightly glows or perhaps reflects it. This doesn't surprise you. Dwarven runes often react to magic. You're a little disappointed, though, that the runes on the hammer aren't glowing, suggesting that the storm that's going on is somehow not interacting with this hammer. Possibly also useful. You're not sure what or why. And again, your thoughts are slipping. You're normally very calculating, very clear. But every time you try to grasp at an idea, it sort of slips away like a fish that you can't quite get a grip of. And it just falls in the pool and you're left with, well, there's a splash. There was an idea there. I'm not quite sure where it is.
I mean, just briefly out of character, I feel very seen right now. That's very much where my headspace is.
You are seen. She has a very broad face and her hands are bluntly enormous. They are easily big enough to wrap entirely round your head and squeeze like it was overripe. Why are you thinking that? Why are you thinking of her squeezing the life out of your head? Oh yeah, you're terrified. It all comes running back to you now. This dwarf doesn't look entirely happy. She is almost in a thinker's pose. Not entirely happy. As the dog who has come in and gone away, and come in and gone away, and come in and gone away, and decided, I don't think I like dwarfs, multiple times, apparently has brought others along with it. So Lucas goes, hello, takes off his hat, his grey hair hangs down a little bit, and he bows, says, hello, says, my name is Lucas Mula. Are you real?
I believe so.
Good. I think everything might be. We're of the opinion we may be dreaming. I'm of the opinion I'm dreaming. Anyway, I'm not entirely sure where we are, what's happening. Sorry. This is my associate. He says,
Joe raised the eyebrow.
and he says,
Dr. Doomlord.
No, demonetized.
Lord Helsnicht. He says, hello. And he bows.
Charms to meet you.
I'm Helga. Queen.
Yeah. A queen. Oh, golly. As he bows again. Queen Helga. Oh, golly.
Where are my men? Have you seen my men?
No.
Broad fuckers. Yeah? Lots of them?
No.
About my height.
No.
Walk around.
No.
Crunch.
No.
Scratch.
Have you become separated from them recently?
There's no telling when it was.
You don't know how long you've been here. You feel like you're half asleep, half awake. But you were with all of them, and now you're not.
You find me at a good
Whoever's
time.
responsible for this, bam!
I was half considering hitting myself with my Warhammer to wake myself up, but perhaps.
I do not believe we are dreaming. It is clear to me that we are in a storm of magic. That it is centered in Brasskeep, wherever that may be. And I think we are compelled to go there.
Brasskeep is a name that you know, although you've got your own word for it,
Yes.
obviously.
Well, that's perfect. I'm going there as well.
Marvelous.
Are you?
You see, Herr Müller, this is a fortuitous day.
I feel so blessed.
Perhaps the dog can take us to the birdie now.
That would be marvellous. Go find Birdie. What's wrong with Birdie? Really? Go find Birdie. And it runs off.
I'm sure Birdie has a sausage.
They have speculated.
Oh, you broke me.
Not sorry.
Bad time to drink something.
I understand if you wouldn't like to come with us, but looks over at you nervously, then looks back at you. But I would be very happy with some companionship, Queen Helika, Mom.
Well,
Indeed, there is strength and safety in numbers.
and I need to slam the shit out of whatever's causing this. So
Pardon?
I have a Warhammer.
And she puts out her hand, and it raises from the ground and goes in. Thunk. And a rune flashes on the side of it.
No.
Oh, golly. This dream has taken a turn for the better.
That is pretty cool. He's faintly embarrassed.
And I'm going to beat the shit out of it.
Right, so, sure, of course. How about we all sing a nice verse of Roll Me Over in the Clover? Where did that come from? He says,
Know this.
maybe she was only the Emperor's daughter. She was only the Emperor's daughter, he says he walks off, and she really knew she oughta. And you hear in the distance sounds that you absolutely understand. The guttural, low voices of Dark Tongue.
Oh dear.
Possibly our Lucas should be a little bit...
Herr Müller,
Yes?
not
I was just about to get to the slaughter.
not everyone who is out in the storm of magic will be as charming as your current companions, and perhaps we should keep our voices down, lest we attract a threat.
Charming.
Right. Why, what did you hear?
Potentially beastmen.
And then
Why does it have to
a different set of sounds coming from over there. Perhaps Lucas was right. They were just about to get to the slaughter. As guttural voices turned to howls and squeals. And a war cry. Kaine! Spills out in a female voice.
It sounds like perhaps the beastmen are not such a threat now.
And ahead of you are a large boulder, or surprisingly mundane one. An elf has backflipped onto it with her back to where you are. Blades drawn to either side, long, sinewy edges to them. A gem, bright red on one, flaming with light. And on the other, elven runes picked out in a pale blue light. As she looks down at the slaughter, and the blood drips from either side. She flicks, and the blood doesn't just flick off. It flicks and butterflies drift away as she looks to either side with a certain amount of, oh no.
That's the same response.
Yeah.
She's got long, flowing blonde hair, which is bound in several places at the back into braids. As you turn around and see down below a dwarf. A very solid-looking dwarf. You can tell by the clan runes, this is Clan Gazani from they're the Skoog hold. Not one that you recognize, though. Not that you've actually spoken to one of them for some time. With a human. And you guess older human. In fact, both of the humans look older. One of them's got an eye patch and is wearing a rather faded red hat. The other, he's wearing very dusty-looking old robes of black. Not ideal. Your mind is loose. It's slipping. Everything that you are has gone. Everything that you should be has vanished. And you are terrified. Are they here to kill you too? Hello. Alamena wife? She says.
Greetings.
Do I know them?
Nope, you don't know that name.
What is Alamena wife?
Says, you look like a friend of mine, Alamena wife. You look very like a friend of mine, Alamena wife.
I do not quite know who I am at present, but I know that I am not she. I am coming down. Clan Gazani, do you see me?
Yes.
And does your hammer go to your hand?
No.
Good. I am coming down.
She drops lightly into the multicolored clearing where everyone is. Lucas goes, hello, my name is Lucas Mueller. I'm lost. I believe I'm dreaming. This is Queen Heliga. Says cautiously. I normally be quite firm with this, but my mind is. I feel somewhat drunk, although I definitely haven't drunk anything for I don't know how long. This is my associate. Says Lord Helschnicht. Yeah.
You have seen an elf who looks like me?
Yes, I would have thought it was actually you.
I have a sister.
Oh. You are?
I am Marisith.
Seath.
Marisith. I do not know why I said that wrong.
Some
Marisith.
magic is intoxicating.
Well, maybe that is why she is here.
Why, who is here?
My sister.
Your sister, Element? He says cautiously.
It's not her name.
Oh, right.
Her name is
Maruvial.
Maruvial.
Right. Oh.
And
I seek her.
is this elf companion of yours with the bird? We are going to Brasskeep. I believe this is the center of this storm of magic. And if we get there, we can stop it. And
What is a Brasskeep?
it is a place, an ill-favored haven of the ruinous powers.
Tor Anilathrai?
Tor Anilathrai, Brasskeep.
Hmm.
You know that. It's in your Book of Grudges. You carry your Book of Grudges at your side. It's in there. You have very good relations with the elves and have had long good relations with the elves. It's in your Book of Grudges because it was brought low by enemies of yours.
But do I know that it's related to where I fall?
Absolutely. You've got you know it by a different name because that place fell and it was replaced with what you call it.
Brasgrum Mida. I think.
I do not know it as that.
I believe.
Do yourself a Kazalid test. Language of the dwarves.
24 successes.
Of course. Yeah, that would be right. Their keeper, their hold of brass. Yeah, definitely sounds about right. That's probably what they're calling Brasskeep.
How do the dwarves mark time?
What do you mean by how do they mark time?
Like, if I was to meet a dwarf and I said what year it was for me, what would they say?
You have no idea.
Right.
It's ever since the dwarves of Skooga fell, and withdrew. They've been living in Middenheim. So they're no longer in their hold. And they haven't been in their hold for a very long time. But they were allies in the wars of the past. As much as it could be said to be allies, they didn't take part.
Have you seen some dwarves?
No. Have you seen some elves?
No.
I fear all my people have died in this. I saw some of them slip away, their lives blinking out one at a time, and I could not reach them. I could not herd them to the place that they should go. The place below, not the place out with mine.
A tear comes to her eye.
I could not help them.
Right, so I don't think staying in the same place is at all wise. We should probably move. We should, I'm not very comfortable with outbursts of emotion. He says, why did I say that out loud?
Hug Lucas.
She'll put a humongous hand on your tiny shoulder. Carefully-ish.
Big, huge
Yeah,
thing.
it might break her.
We will find our people.
Yes, we will.
As Meat Pie tears across the path up ahead. Yep. And a thing with about 12 legs and a snapping mouth and a row of eyes across the top of its head comes after it.
Oh dear.
Lucas goes, oh shit. Meat Pie, run!
Is there any chance if I throw the Warhammer it will come back towards me?
Absolutely.
Then I would like to do that with
Okay.
this.
Do your test, please. Tell me how many successes you have.
That's 36 successes.
Whoosh! The hammer flies out and turns in the air, and you hear a wet noise as the hammer rises up over the rock on the other side, head at the top, blood dripping from it. Blood. Ichor might be better. It's most certainly not red. And just floats down to your hand as you grip it.
I'd like to not be looking at it as I pat the elf.
So Lucas goes, oh, what? I did. Do we have a direction? Do we know where we're going? Lucas goes tearing across the path ahead in the opposite direction. Lucas, not Lucas, pardon me, Meat Pie. Meat Pie, boom, 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 goes over.
I say we continue to follow the dog.
You
It has
can-
brought us two stalwart allies so far.
You can tell me stories of your friend, this Alamanawai. What does she do? How do you know her?
Where
I'm
did you
not
meet?
sure.
Where did you meet? That is the
Do-
kind of question you should ask. Yes.
She,
Really, you would need the full context in terms of Mr. Mueller here was going to tell me about his backstory and where he
I
comes
was.
from.
he says,
He looks familiar to me. I feel I'm
I'm not enjoying being the centre of
I
attention, he
may
says,
have
as he walks forward. We're going to be going this way, he
I
says.
feel like I may have known one of his ancestors, perhaps.
My ancestors.
Ancestors.
Gods.
Why would you think that?
Oh,
I am
gods.
You
not-
are both human.
I am older than him, however,
How do you know that?
because I am older than you. Am I not?
Oh, he's much older, he says, looking back. Much older.
How
Oh,
much?
I don't know. Centuries for all I know. What a strange dream.
How is
He says, I'm just going to go round here and, oh my God, there's so many dead beastmen. What happened here? Oh, no, I remember. And the butterflies.
So
Do
you
we have to go this way?
you have heard of him centuries in your past?
Turns around and looks at you. Yes, I've heard of you as well, actually.
Of me?
Yes.
Why? What am I?
You're Queen of the Wood. That's what you are, isn't it? Isn't it? Are you not?
Two queens. We are blessed to be
I
in your
am.
company.
Known as a queen.
Oh, gods, this is like... This is the sort of thing that Leopold would be talking about. He'd be saying, there's no such thing as coincidence. This is happening for a reason. Oh my God. And he goes, I'm just going to stomp right through this pile of corpses here. I don't care. They're only, oh my God, that one's got 2 arms more than it should have. And that one's got 3 eyes. And that one's oddly attractive. Oh He says, as he lifts up his robes and picks his way through the bodies. I'm getting to the other side. You can stay back there and talk if you want, he says, as he makes his way over. Fuck me, it's a ghost! He says as he reaches the other side.
A ghost? I mustn't see this.
Yes. We must see.
And in front of him, coming out from the clearing and passing over meat pie. You all right there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Is a ghost. All 7.5 foot of it.
There's a tall ghost.
Yeah. As is she. It's worth noting. Tall, but only about 6 foot 7, 8. Not that tall. This is much taller. Barbarian with an iron crown upon his head. A big blonde beard flecked with grey in places. And a sword at his hip, which is dripping motes of ice. The dog watches him pass through as Lucas does indeed. Fuck me, it's a ghost in your direction. And then backs off and then looks behind him, sees all the corpses, looks at you, and then just
and the
breaks.
necromancer picking his way through the corpses towards him.
Do you mean actually picking corpses?
No.
And
The odd bits in a bag.
hello, he says to the ghost. My name's Lucas Muir. He says,
Steady, man. Hello.
you talk.
Why wouldn't I?
Right. Why wouldn't you indeed? But right. It's a dream. Hello. My name is Lucas Muller, he says, and I have some companions that I apparently have encountered along the way. He says, we have a dog who you may have noticed already. His name is Meat Pie. He says, behind me, making his way across the not as clear as I would prefer it to be clearing, is my associate, Lord Helschnicht, says, and behind that, you'll see an elf and a dwarf. That is Queen Heliga and Queen Marasith. Queen
Fine company.
Marasith is a name you not only know, you have met her multiple times. You and her made a deal, literally, in a clearing, naked, beneath the 2 moons full, and swore on your blood that you would not go to war. Admittedly, that was also tied to the previous versions of the wars that had gone not very well for you. And 2 days later, you were all playing middenball at the base of the Fauschlag to celebrate their new alliance of sorts. Peace treaty at best. And the elves absolutely creamed the Teutigans. It was somewhere in the region of a complete defeat that could in no way be seen as anything close to a win, but it got everyone very excited. Very excited.
Better than losing a war.
Indeed. And that was very much your opinion. Look at what we've reached. We don't need to war. We can have a proxy war. And you mentioned it to Marasith. You know, if we ever have problems, why not just have a game instead? You know, we can settle it that way. She, of course, agreed because
They'll win.
they'll win. On the second game, it was a draw. Marasith found that very amusing. And indeed, you recognise him.
Oh.
King Arthur of the Teutigans. There's also one thing worth noting of King Arthur of the Teutigans as he twists his head around and goes, the back of his head is entirely caved in.
It's like the Sixth Sense. Let me show you where my dad keeps his gun.
It's that.
Do I remember this?
You have no idea how he died.
Oh. No, but meeting him and
Oh, no, you
Yeah,
remember me?
all
Oh,
that
yeah,
stuff.
absolutely. He was a very canny human. And he played being stupid gloriously and absolutely wasn't. You remember the middenball match keenly. And when his big white wolves came out, and the elves are like, this won't be a problem. And crunch. getting the ball off of those slabs of meat proved to be very difficult. I mean, you could jump over
You're
them
not
with
allowed to
ease.
use weapons, right?
No, you're not. And you could punch them all day. Bop! Balls, that didn't work. Yeah, it was a far more equal match. And you very much approved of that. It was a cunning use of diplomacy.
My old friend.
I know you.
Yes. And I know you.
Marasid, right?
Arthur. King Arthur.
King Arthur. Yeah.
Interesting. You think you're speaking Eltharine. He sounds like he's speaking Eltharine. He couldn't speak Eltharine in life. Huh. Okay, that's confusing. Because the dwarf was definitely speaking. The dwarf appears to be less affected by this. She's speaking in her native tongue. But how do you understand it? She's less affected. You're fully affected. Your brain is grasping at things. There's something there that you feel like you should be able to understand. But you can't quite get it. You have lost 98% of yourself. You are a pale shadow of who you should be. You cannot survive here.
What happened to you?
That craven Sigmar. He killed me. After I killed him.
As Lucas, who was just sitting there, he moved off to the side, letting them talk, pulled out a little bit of water, stepping on it, and it goes. Craven Sigmar. Craven. This is something you recognise immediately. The word craven from Middenlanders is important. It means that they are. I'm going to give you a contrary example. Dwarf friend. We know the concept of a dwarf friend, that eternal bond between whomever is called a dwarf friend and a dwarf. Craven is the opposite, an eternal enemy, because they are cowardly and they are without honour. Very Ulrican term, and one that's been laid upon your feet so many times that you, to a degree, got a certain amount of pride with that particular Craven title. You like it when they refer to you as the Craven Doomlord. Right.
Aye. Good man. Good ghost.
I'm a man.
Man.
I think. I'm a man.
When did you die? Is he here? Can we hit him?
In terms of like teachers' experience of ghosts,
Yes.
like they normally just walk around.
No.
fully sentient like this. Like,
Not only do they not normally do this, this is very much not your typical ghost.
yeah, this is unprecedented
I will
territory.
let you do yourself a quick lore undead test. Something I think you'll be quite good at.
10 successes.
So for him to be in this circumstance, in this particular, there has to be a lot of magic, a lot of will for him to be here, and a long. Okay, you're quite convinced this is recent for him to be so clear, which means he's at least 2,500 years out of time. This is not the ghost that he would have today.
So he hasn't been hanging around as a ghost for millennia.
No,
Something funny has
something
happened
funny with the magic. Okay, and somehow you're seeing the ghost of the past, a quite literal ghost of the past, possibly very recently slain. Why he would be up here, you don't know though, because this is far away from where you believed he'd been killed, which was in Middenheim.
Forgive me. I heard you died in Middenheim.
In the Fauschlag.
So why are you here?
You don't know.
Where is he here?
Near Braskeep.
Does he know Brasky?
Oh, he's aware of Braskeep. Braskeep. It's an ill-omened place that he has barricaded against. They have wooden fortifications about 2 miles away from it to ensure that anything that may be coming from there doesn't get down into his lands. There are not many fortifications that have been built by the Tudorgans, but that one in particular is solid and strong.
I've no idea.
Will you help me, my old friend?
How?
This place it scares me. We fought together, yes. With a ball, not with our fists. I was different then, and here I am lesser, and I cannot see myself.
It's fair. As you grasp at your own facts and your own memories, when you last met her, she was almost 8.5 feet tall. She's diminished. Literally diminished. She looks, as much as one can say this, weak, uncertain, unsure, quite unlike the Queen Maraseeth that you met, who was almost a paragon of leadership. She was canny, she was wise, she was smart, and she impressed you with almost everything that she did. You tried to seduce her. You failed. The Queen wasn't so happy about that.
Try harder. Why did you fail? No, not that kind.
No, that. You should do better. This will consolidate the alliance.
Sigmar was your brother in battle?
No.
No?
No, he was my enemy in battle.
You were never...
He kept trying to fight me. I said, no, not interested.
I remember
Southern
him.
warlord.
He was a blood-drenched barbarian.
Yap, goes Meat Pie off towards the side. And you hear her, aye, shut the fuck up. I was listening in, you little fucker. As Lucas goes, Sigfeder. What? What? As he says, who, oh fuck, you're Lucas, aren't you? Well, I think we're in a storm of magic or something. Why am I saying this out loud? He says, oh, my brain feels like Marienburger fucking cheese. As the grey-haired man whose hair is sticking up at various angles, older, probably in his 50s, 60s, hops down from the rock where he was watching everyone and goes, hey, up all, apparently I've been outed, you wee fucker. Tail wags. As Lucas goes, I thought you were dead. Says, aye, well, you know, rumours of my death, exaggerations, that sort of thing. It's my job. I'm meant to die. If I didn't die, people would always know. Surprise, Sigfeder. He looks around. Hey, Paul. Oh, right, yes. Introductions. He says, this is the ghostly King Arthur of Middenheim. This is the best dream ever. And then he pauses. My associate, Lord Hellstate, maybe not. Queen Helga, extraordinary. And, of course, Queen Maraseeth, who I think might be my sister. As he goes, Maraseeth? Fuck. You're shorter than I expected.
I am diminished.
She
It
used
is
to be
true.
taller. Yeah.
You will help me.
Oh, she used to be taller. I was kind of making a joke. I mean, with a name like that.
I'd look up to her.
And Clan Gazani, you are our allies?
Yes, of
Clan
course.
Gazani, Queen. What the fuck? There's been no Queen of Clan Gazani for centuries.
We are out of time.
Well, how much time do we have left?
No. I mean, time
Says,
is dislocated.
for what?
Time is dislocated. This man is a ghost. He died millennia ago, and yet his ghost is as if he had died just now.
Oh, wait a minute. Storm.
Exactly.
Oh.
We must go to Brasskeep to stop the storm.
I think my sister...
Brass Keep! Get your fucking head screwed on tight. No one wants to go there.
But we must. It is where the storm of magic originates. If we wish the storm of magic...
Wait a minute. Are you the fucking Doom Lord of Middenheim? He says, wait a minute. My brain's just catching up with what he said.
I am Dieter Schnitt. Yes.
What the flying fuck? You're not. Are you like him?
Am I like...
Or are you like him? How?
Am I like who?
How can you even be him?
Lucas, what is he saying?
He says he's asking how you could be here and possibly not being some sort of cackling maniac, I presume.
Because I'm not a
I wouldn't have put but I
I tried to... As I have explained...
I'm unarmed.
I have explained to Herr Müller that the stories about me are lies, fabrications, exaggerations.
It's exactly what he said.
I was-
I remember that bit.
I was betrayed by Middenheim. When I tried to tell them the truth about Sigmar, they would not listen.
Craven!
Well, this is heretical. I'm watching a conversation between a dead man and an undead man and
Excuse me.
ghost and a
Excuse me.
and
Why is it
Alamenoi's sister.
Why
Hello.
is it heretical?
What's heretical?
You just said this is heretical.
Well,
Why?
he's calling Sigmar what he's calling him, and
what is
he's the
Sig-
Doom Lord of
I'm
Midnight.
telling you that Sigmar was a necromancer.
But wait, what is Sigma
What?
to you?
He says,
Takes
wait,
out
what?
the book, slams her, right?
Chaos
What?
worshipping.
What is Sigma to you?
What?
No, what is Sigma to you? Why are you?
He's our bloody god.
Gods.
What?
Sigmar's not a god.
Is this true?
Meatpie,
Man.
lead on, lead on.
I
He
let
says,
Terrence
Meatpie, lead on. As he
A few weeks
As he
ago, at
walks off.
best, what happened?
as he walks off. No, can't hear. Nope.
I think something is wrong with time.
Is that where my men are? They have left behind
In
in
the
time?
past, perhaps?
As
Our
Sigfeder says,
past.
or we're in the past.
Indeed.
So your men are left behind. It's us. Hey, I'd be really old then if I lived all the way through. Imagine that. That-
Lucas.
I said that out loud.
Lucas.
What's going on with this place?
But the man
That's-
said that
Lucas has just
Yes,
disappeared into
we
the
must
trees.
not let him go.
These trees.
No, wait, stop,
They all move with their own unnatural
Stop!
wind.
man.
Mixture of blues and greens for the
Hang
for
a bell,
the
bro.
The narrator is interrupting us from talking to
the
him.
leaves, which are a bit more like fleshy flaps, and the
Oh.
you can imagine that according to your wish. Bluey grey ones though. And the twisted trunks that look more akin to almost like they're being fashioned out of stone to appear to be bits of arm.
The man.
As he says, I'm in heresy!
No, stop. The man.
We have
the
to
man-
stay together or we will die.
The man is.
I'm following the dog!
Yes, and
Let us all follow
and
the
the dog is with the bird, and the bird is with my reprobate sister.
And
Sister's
stop.
a reprobate.
Did you say reprobate? As Lucas stops, sticks his head
Yes,
around from
she
a
is-
stony, fleshy, flappy tree.
She is wayward. She is willful.
Willful.
She is
Oh, yes.
whimsical.
This is top
she
gossip.
is everything that I am not. And she is jealous of my power, I think.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. Jealous. Oh,
It's an old story.
here. Yip. I'm sorry, Meat Pie. Yes, it was gossip. I'd been caught by gossip. As Sigfeder
Wait.
goes, aye, but it's good gossip, eh? Says, so tell me more about her, this wayward sister of yours.
You also know this elf.
What, the Alamenoith elf? Aye, I've met her.
How do you know her?
Oh, well, I'd like to say, I know her. Huh? But I don't. What I do know is that everyone else knows her. He walks off.
Hang on. Did you say you're looking for the centre?
Yes.
It's over there. Can't see it.
You can tell where the center.
Aye. That
Aye.
way.
Well, that's where we're going.
Running after Lucas.
Is he
Now,
pointing towards Brass Keep though?
You don't know. You can't see it. Yeah.
That's the center of the vortex of magic, the storm.
How do you know?
Don't know.
Oh.
Just
Is that
can
something?
tell.
Is that something he thinks ghosts would be able to?
Please
Sure.
have a test.
Oh, critical.
Oh.
So 9 successes. Critical.
Yeah, they'll be directly in tune with the winds in a fashion that you're currently not. This place is broken, and you think Lucas might actually, with some thought, be correct about this. If you were in your material corpus form, you should be able to channel, and you can't. You can barely even feel anything. So it suggests that
So it's
Your
not so much that
corpus.
we're dreaming, we're in a dream.
your corpus has been separated from your etheric components. Your corpus is probably lying somewhere, dealing with this mess. At least that's one potential. And he almost certainly will be attuned to the Shyish in a way that you should be, but he has no corpus. It's his natural attunement, so he probably is sensing where that Shyish is coming from.
We should follow this man.
The wind of death.
Lucas,
Is,
we are going this way, and I would like to
The
know...
dog has gone this way.
Oh, the dog.
The dog will catch up. He's a smart dog.
I'm following the dog.
He can sense the center of the storm. If you wish to find your friends, if you wish to stop this, if you wish to survive, we must follow King Arthur.
Meat pie!
But maybe...
Heal?
But maybe the way is not straight.
Sigfeder goes, it could be a twisty-turny cunt path, for all we know.
So we could follow the dog, provided with this
It's
also.
going in that way.
I am trying. There is a word for this.
Well,
When you have multiple positions, I know the word, but there's a
but
word.
you're not here yet, Cass.
Voice yelling about triangles.
I was trying to help.
We coordinate between the yes.
Yes, and when I find her, I will flay the skin from her. Wine-drenched. What are we doing?
I don't know, but I find you powerfully erotic right now.
Hello.
Sorry, what did I say? Anyway, we should go.
As Sigfeder goes, this place is crazy. I wonder if I'm dead too. Maybe I'm dead.
He said you were dead. Do you remember dying?
I feel alive. Oh, wait a minute. No, I remember. Oh, I was
Ghost poke.
and prods against him and the flesh moves. Oh.
That's it.
I've never been poked by a ghost like that before.
I would like to know one thing. We all seem to know of the tales of Sigmar. He
Craven!
who bashed out the babe's brains and called it victory and honour in his lust for the Norse's blood. We all know of him, yes?
As Lucas just
I was
shrivels.
familiar with this tale.
Yes.
And
I
he
know him
thinks
as-
he's a god,
How
therefore
long
he
have-
must be
Yes.
after us?
Yes. How
Well,
long
you're aware
is
that
it?
Sigmar was declared God.
Oh, okay.
You were a primary opponent
Yes.
for any Temple of Sigmar ever being built in
yes.
Middenheim.
You mark this man as a god. How
Lucas
long
goes,
ago did he become a god?
Yes, good.
For he was a man when I knew him.
2,400 some years ago.
2,500.
For you, it's not more than 500 years since Sigmar's reign.
What? I've been gone for 2,000 years.
No, you're getting confused again. I may be going into your time.
No,
which would
you're getting confused.
I'm
How
going to-
dare you?
I'm going to
You're
have to-
speaking to a queen.
Oh dear. I'm going
Tell
to
him,
write-
lass.
I'm going to have to write a note to the party and bury it somewhere. It says so they can find it 2,000 years later. Lucas went into the darkness and died 2,000 years ago.
My dear friend Muller, we can stop this storm of magic and hopefully all of us will be returned to our rightful places.
Oh, God.
So,
Well, I'm
tell
dead.
me.
What?
Tell me,
Peace
how
I want to be dead.
I'm following the dog.
does the Laurelorn fare in your time?
He says,
That's a code phrase, surely. Laurelorn is wintry.
as he goes, I can't say I've ever visited. It's not exactly a friendly place for people of my
Right.
ilk or my kind, I suppose.
Tell me everything you know.
Meat pie! And goes off. Meat pie, she's terrifying. Terrifying. Yep, yep, yep.
And how long has it been for you since Sigmar was raised to deity?
The same as Herr Muller.
You are the same, but you are centuries older than him.
I am a necromancer.
What does this mean?
This means I use magic to extend my life.
Like the elves.
What? No.
He's lived long. Magic.
Correlation does not equate to causation, my friend.
Magic. Like my sword. Magic.
Oh, baby.
Baby magic.
You hear up ahead as Sigfeder says, "Thank you." No. Hello.
There's a baby.
I would like to see the baby.
Quiet. Hello.
To the necromancer.
Hello. Oh gosh, I can't keep my train of thought. Hello. My name is Lucas Mueller. Absolutely delighted to meet you and your child. I am with a ramshackle crew. We have found ourselves. We have found ourselves somewhat thrust together in this alien landscape, and we are sort of heading in one direction or another in a desperate attempt not to be aimless, I suppose. Looks at you. You're quite pretty. Oh gosh, I said that out loud. I hate this place. As his cheeks flush. Ahead is a human. She's in her 20s. She's holding, wrapped up in cloth, a baby. She's got long blonde hair down to her waist. She's about 5'7", 5'8". Shorter than pretty much everyone else here, bar the dwarf. And she is indeed quite pretty. I apologise. That just came out. I imagine you're the queen of somewhere. And that also just came out. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm princess.
Of course you are.
Princess Ravenna.
Oh, right. Princess Ravenna. Right.
I lead the Berrigans.
You lead down in Berrigans. Huh. Ravenna. Yeah, you've heard of her at a distance. Ravenna. You think that's Sigmar's sister? Possibly. Or friend. Or something. One of the... Or possibly lover. You're not entirely sure which it is. But that's definitely your time. Assuming it's the same person and it's not just someone who's used the name later. You imagine there's been lots of arters over time at Midheim because you were there before them. He'd be right.
How are you not dead? I'm dead.
You received a blow to the back of the
Ah, yeah, Craven. I threw him into the flame.
Oh my god.
And then he came out and he smashed my head.
You speak.
Wait a minute, what? You threw him into the flame?
Right, I beat him.
You beat Sigmar?
I beat him, he's a Craven.
Might I ask you a question? And I say this with the utmost respect for your position and your very tall nature. Are you telling me that you defeated Sigmar? He didn't defeat you?
I defeated him first.
By throwing him into the flame.
You threw him into the flame?
Was that the condition for victory?
Had you already defeated him?
He was on the ground. Fucked him in.
Right. But that didn't kill him.
It's a shame it didn't work.
Thought it did.
What, you are not a... Who are you?
You not his sister?
He's my twin.
Sister.
But
I say
you
gulp out
hate
loud
him?
like a word.
I hate him.
A
with
Sigmar.
You can only
Sigfeder.
imagine.
Cincinnati. Sigfeder. You fucking what now? Twin? Fuck off. No. I know the story. Ravenna is not the twin. Ravenna's, the woman that he
presume
bedded.
to tell me my life?
I'll admit that did come out wrong. You got a point there, missus. Fuck.
Right. Well, I gotta put you in the book, but less.
Do you worship chaos and all?
You said this before.
He worshipped chaos.
He did.
I'm
What?
I'm not
What?
disputing it.
Says Sigfeder. Stop everything. He says, fucking headbang here. What? As
He was
Lucas
a
says,
worshipper of chaos.
what?
And he led me astray. Led me into the dark. And then cast me aside when he had a change of heart.
A change of heart. Says
Craven
Sigfeder.
bastard.
Well,
this-
he was changed. I don't think his heart was involved. It's a shriveled pebble of a thing
Was
in his
this-
chest.
After he went to Brass Keep.
Do I know?
The answer to that is, oh yeah.
Yes, I believe so.
This is because he learned how to rule in
What?
Brass Keep.
Sigfeder says, I'm fucking loving this.
I rule, and my
let me-
heart is not a shriveled pebble.
He's a rapist and he deserves everything that he gets.
But this was before Brass Keep. This is my point.
Hey, wait a minute.
You say he...
Is that Sigmarsson?
This is his son.
Fucking hell. All right. Wow. Fuck. You're the Ma I trust.
Yes,
And you're his
obviously.
twin.
Yes.
Fuck me. Well, I'm done here. I'm kind of happy with this.
Somebody is.
He says, yeah, I'm just saying, a long time later, that's not the they don't, no, fucking hell no. As Lucas says, I would like to say this is just all a dream and that we should do what the dream says, which is follow the dog and get out of here. I'll admit that I'm holding on to my sanity by that single belief alone.
No more dog. I can see where this... It's in the centre, right there.
If it's any consolation, I've written your story in my book of grudges.
Thank you. I'm sure that'll help.
Can I just get a timeline clarification?
Yes.
The Arthur fight was before Brasskeep.
Yes.
Interesting.
So it goes... no.
But you're kind
That
of you exist in
way?
a lot of the timeline because you knew him as a god.
Yeah, she's just there the whole way through.
Yeah.
The one constant.
This is interesting to me. But of course, none of you will know the story.
What story?
What story?
The story of what happened in Brasskeep.
Sigfeder says, don't know the story. I love a story.
You do know the story if you are from the time of Lucas.
He says, I don't know no story. What story are you expecting me to know?
The story of Sigma defeating the necromancer Morath.
Oh, I know that story. Aye. They talk about it in Temple and Festag.
But they tell lies about it. This is why I was betrayed by Middenheim.
This is coming
why-
from the Doom Lord, aye?
As I say, the stories are exaggerated and misappropriations. are untrue.
You'd say that though, eh?
No, I would not. I
I mean, you just did.
take great delight in the enmity of Middenheim, because Middenheim is ruled by traitors and cowards and fools.
Right, so in your perfect world,
Nowadays,
Nowadays, of course, in my time,
Matan.
I am sure you are a fine.
in your perfect world, just saying, like, in your perfect world, who should be ruling Middenheim? Just between you and us. Fuck this place! I can't believe I've been asking these questions.
Do I still have ears?
As he rubs it.
Do I have ears? Is the Tutigan still?
Do you have
Ears. He
Ears.
says ears. You need to speak loudly for him.
Do I still have ears?
He's very
I
old.
still have ears. I mean, there are still Tutigans there. I do not believe
There should be
the
rulers then.
The Todbringers aren't, are they? Were they like a Drakvalder line?
They are not purebred.
Yeah. Although they'll have
Tutigans,
married,
they
they
are.
are, won't they?
Yeah.
I mean, it has been millennia.
They're a lot, man.
The-
Say that they're the true Tutigans.
No, they're on Rogans.
No, the Hellsteins.
No, the Hellstings.
Oh, the Helsings. Like
One of those many-
Birdie's Law. No,
Yeah.
Renena's Law.
Not to be confused with Sister Anne Miranda's
Yeah.
lot. Or
Calf's lot.
It has been millennia. The bloodlines are muddied now.
That's what's wrong with the world now, then.
We should walk as we
Right,
go.
Sigfeder.
My
You're of your time, son.
Right.
No,
We should be going. Lucas goes.
we can walk and talk.
That way.
Lead on, Arthur.
just,
King Arthur.
I just
King
need to get
Arthur,
north.
apologies. You are a figure of
Going-
legend and mythology to me. Which is
Should
a lot-
be.
Lots to wrap my head around.
Ravenna is speaking, and she is a princess.
I'm the lowest ranking person.
You
I only assume Lord.
Lucas.
why you say you wish to go north?
I was going north to the North Sea.
They are a gentle people.
Yes, we were going to hide there from Sigmar because he hunts us now.
I am sorry.
This is confusing.
The
But
North
did you
Sea-
not say that he hunted the Norse?
Yes, a gentle people. We allied with them, and they left our... We heard their screams. The trees heard their screams. They echoed through the night as Sigmar hunted them like they were
Aye, probably after his bear, eh?
vermin.
No,
I have never seen such a
That
thing.
sounds likely. He would chase after his son.
we will need to warn
That's
them.
why you had to leave, because he had fallen and he was wrong.
Mhm.
And then he was wrong in a completely different way. What the fuck?
Terrible, terrible twin.
Betrayal.
I have a twin, and it is my fear she has betrayed me. I am dying.
They're the worst, aren't they?
You will
Twins.
die.
Yes, this magic is killing me
But
as we speak.
when we get to the hut, we will stop it.
The hut.
The heart.
Yes, the
It's
hut.
the center.
How do you plan on stopping it?
I'll smash it.
Yes.
That might work. Or there may be some other way to stop it when we get there.
Right.
Well, I'll smash it first. Then
I would be most grateful if you would allow me to observe the situation before you smash, lest there be a safer solution.
you get 10 seconds.
I will take what you give me, Your Grace.
Highness.
Opens the book, doesn't say anything, just fucking.
You wouldn't do that. The Book of Grudges is important. It's a sacred artifact. You don't just put handy jots in it. As the unlikely group make their way forward, the ghost, the dwarf, the elf, the necromancer, and the
Walk
human,
into a bar.
alongside Sigfeder, the dog, and of course Lucas. The group make their way, wending between some of the strangest surroundings. And yes, they talk. And it appears that they all, for their own reasons, have various grudges against a particular Sigmar. This obviously leaves Lucas very uncomfortable, to the point that, in this slightly groggy state where his brain isn't necessarily working as smoothly as it should do, given the environment, he often just puts his hand over his ears and does the equivalent of a nya, nya, nya. I can't hear any of your blasphemy. Sigfeder, by comparison, is lapping it all up like it is the tastiest little morsels that could possibly be laid at his feet. It is after some time that you find yourself walking along the edge of a tall cliff that drops down into a misty, broken valley with the occasional rise of rock or jagged tooth or whatever you want to call that, what looks like windswept piece of stone with holes through it and the occasional face on the edge. The colours are twisting and varied. But you all seem to be quite separate to this place. None of you are carrying any obvious form of influence from it beyond your inability to think completely straight. Your minds aren't working quite as they should do. It does have a dreamlike quality, where reality doesn't feel quite real, or this lack of reality around you feels dreamlike. And it's as you're making your way along here that the mists part down in the valley below, and you see the first signs of another party, another group. It's a large party, numbering, and you would guess, hundreds, several, and they're beastmen. They are hunting their way around down below, looking for, presumably, their own ways out, lost in this strange environment. It's enough to cause pause. You've already been speaking for all... Pause. You've already been speaking relatively quietly, aware that you might be potentially ambushed. But seeing them is enough to cause a halt to your conversations. As Lucas goes, "Yelp." Sigfeder drops down. No magic in this place, so what the fuck do we do?
I think between us and where we are going.
Yeah, you were expecting to go to end down in this area at some point. You were going to have to go through this horrible veil of mist. It was coming. You're just looking for a way down at the moment.
You have weapons?
Are they going in the same direction?
They are down there. Some of them are, some of them aren't. They're a big
Kind of milling.
amorphous milling group.
Yeah.
So
Trying to
they're not,
find
like,
a-
marching. And,
No, they're not. They're trying to find their own way through the mist, and it's quite likely with the mist parting, you're seeing just how disarrayed they are. And they themselves are coming to a similar conclusion as you're watching them begin to knot back into groups again.
Can we touch King Arthur? Like, does he have substance?
He has substance.
Yeah, that's a shame. But how did we know he's a ghost then?
He looks like a ghost.
Yeah. And he has the...
Help me,
I'm
Obi-Wan,
imagining, like,
King
pale
Arthur.
glowing, like that kind of...
He's vaguely
But he-
transparent.
Yeah, but he's
Occasionally
not-
you can see his internal
But
gut,
he still has
his
substance.
skull,
Yeah.
his bones, and then he's back to being looking like himself again.
I mean, teachers were probably just like fascinated, staring when he's walking, staring at
Knock it off.
It's
Perhaps you,
fascinating for me.
perhaps you could run down there and scare them.
I say we just go through them. We never fought against each other, but we could fight together.
That is true.
We've got her and her hammer.
Yep.
Do you fight?
I need to protect my child.
Hmm.
No slight choices.
I'm
Not great
worried.
odds.
I'm worried that we are all diminished and made unsafe.
I
in a
am.
Storm of magic.
So Sig Feather, this place is bad. Really bad news. I have no desire to be trying to fight my way through a horde of beastmen who are probably going to be much happier in this environment than I am.
What's her feelings of stealth? Like, I don't feel like
She doesn't do
dwarves.
stealth.
Yeah, they don't really do.
No, she doesn't do stealth.
Yeah.
There are obviously far too many down there. If you take them on, you'll probably die.
Sure.
But it would be potentially a glorious death. But you don't intend to gloriously die. You intend to get back to your people.
Yeah.
Your oath of kingship, an oath that you have taken, has made it very clear that you must, in all circumstances, preserve your life because you are a focal point of all the other dwarves. If you fall, they fall. And they will despair. Your oath of kingship is absolutely paramount in everything that you do. And you have to make solid calculations. And as it stands, you could go around them. There's no need to go through them. There's a host of different potential routes that you could take. But if you have to fight, you will fight, and you will fight to every last inch of your life.
And it's not enough to have the elf as well. Like,
I mean, it might be in some heroic tale where these
Sure.
things occur, but because you're in a dreamlike trance, you don't even know if you'll be able to fight the way you normally could. And you're aware also that the elves' greatest ally is often magic, and it appears that there's no real magic here, that it's somehow stymied.
But we have not seen her, but
I
seen the
s-
results of
I
killing beastmen.
suggest we go round the edge
Yes, that seems sensible.
quietly, quickly, and we meet any stragglers that come our way with blood and death and screams. They will not like the screams.
Quiet screams,
No, blood-curdling, terrifying screams.
but not,
Should we need to?
but not loud enough to alert a larger horde that's not with us that may come and attack us if we're attempting to be stealth.
Depends, lad. Depends on what we run into.
I don't do stealth. But we can go around.
I do not want to die.
Yes.
It is important
neither.
that I live, and I am heartened that you know of the Queen of the Woods.
Aye.
Are you scared of me?
Got to realise, love, he says. Might not be you. Elves lie. Could be someone else to wear in your name. Don't want to look weak, having lost their queen. I'm not saying that's happened, though.
I've missed sleep.
He is a cruel jester.
But
As Lucas looks at him, and Sig Feather's like,
Should I lead the way?
so we just make our way down.
Yeah. Round them.
Right.
I would not be brought so low.
Well, who knows? I mean, if you never leave here, then that's it. I mean,
But you know enough.
when do you think it is? When is your time? In correlation to Sigma? How many years have passed?
How long?
About 300, 200, 300, 200 and... Oh, you can't quite put it. More than 200, less than 300.
More than 200? Less than 300?
Oh, right. So before... Right. Well, that's confusing. So you arrived here by Brass Keep some 250 years after Sigma left.
Yes.
And you're seeking your sister.
Yes.
Right.
I know she built this place.
Originally, yes.
Yes, she built this place.
She built this place?
She built that place.
Yes.
She
Poor
built the
Annie
place?
Lefter.
Sig Feather. What? She built it?
Yes, she has
This
been...
place?
I told you. She is
Who built what?
obsessive. In one of her drunken rages, no doubt, she built a tower from the very bones of the earth, for all I know.
The bones of the earth.
Yes, she has a fey creature.
I should like to reanimate that.
Does Arthur know it as a dwarf?
Yes.
Sylvan first?
He knows it as a fallen dwarf stronghold.
Yeah. Used to be run by dwarves. It's
What?
fallen though.
Yep, it did.
I mean,
And indeed, it has indeed fallen to bandits in your... bandits in your time.
Bandits.
Getting my characters mixed up there. Bandits in your time.
And when are you in relation to Sigma? How long ago did he pass through?
Melagot's rotters.
About 5 centuries.
500. 500.
Long before you were born. You're only about 150.
Before my time.
And you are of Skyga? Skug?
Skoog.
Skug?
Karak Skoog.
Karak Skug. It stands?
No. No, it fell a long time ago.
But is
You
it
live in
fallen
Middenheim.
from me?
Yeah.
Is it fallen from me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's not been dwarves in the Middle Mountains for, since the war.
We live in the Ulrichsburg.
Yeah.
Erlichsburg.
Right. And when were you born? After Sigma?
I have no idea. Where was he born?
You can't quite remember.
I can't.
But,
Centuries ago.
oh,
Wait. Lucas, man.
yes, hello.
When did he march upon the Ulrichsburg?
Oh, so many times.
It is something of a habit.
Centuries ago. I don't know the exact date. I'd need to look a book. But centuries ago. I can't say I'm exactly a scholar on doomlording.
But I am from his time.
This is
Yes,
terrifying.
but your memory seems weak and petrified.
I mean, that is harsh, but possibly fair. But my memory is perhaps influenced by the magic I have used to extend my life. What I'm saying is I was awakening in the time in which Herr Müller is also from.
What am I trapped with? Am I in my mind? Am I dreaming? Maybe I should just walk off the cliff and see what
No,
happens.
do not do that.
He says as he looks at the cliff. I could just walk
Please.
off. Might bring this to an end.
No.
Sigfeder says,
Who are you, Lucas Müller?
"Did anybody doing that?" He says, "I told you, I'm a servant of, and that's it, really. I can't believe I call myself a servant. Oh, I'm totally falling for what he says. Oh no!" He says a little bit too loudly.
Who?
And down below, some beastmen stir. One looks up, and you hear the creak of a bow being drawn. As, who was holding on to Lucas there? It was yourself. You pulling him down with you because he's too busy. Going, oh no! Boof! And an arrow goes whooshing past where his head is. Oh no! He said,
Put my hand over his mouth.
We should move. Let us not be here when they come.
I mean, are we going towards them?
We're going around.
Well, we don't know which way they're going to come up, do we? Since we're on the top of a cliff looking down at them.
Come up at all if you haven't been shouting.
But let's not stay here.
He looks at the edge. I could just jump.
No, you must not. You are important, Herr Müller, and I don't know why.
Look at you. I think you're insane, Doomlord.
No, your face. Who is your father?
He says, no consequence.
Sigfrid, who is his father?
Intuition.
I don't think I need intuition.
Nah. Sigfrid shrugs. I didn't care. No idea at all. I don't even really know him. Hey, Lucas! Who's your da? He says, clatter, clatter of arrows against the cliffside down there. One of them flies over the top. We're low. We'll be fine. They know where we are.
Great.
So we just plowing on ahead then, eh?
Yes.
And
Let's
Lucas
not
says,
stay here.
maybe we could just go in the opposite direction. What do you think, Meat Pie? Meat Pie is just...
Could also just wait, and then they maybe send a few, kill them, send a few more, kill them.
I'm not a part of that plan, says Lucas.
Well, the charge, right?
We are behind a rock. It is a defensible position.
And I am the insane one, Herr Müller.
Why am I on the same side as the Doomlord in this conversation?
Because the stories about me are not true. Lies, misappropriations, exaggerations.
I apologise, Herr Doom Lord. Perhaps I have you all wrong.
I merely try to point out to the Temple of Sigma that the entire empire is founded on a legacy of necromancy and undeath. That Sigma was a necromancer who was a servant to the great Lord Nagash.
What?
It's all his fault.
That's what happened. That's how he changed. He learned to rule from Nagash, the great God King himself.
God King is Sigma?
No.
God King is Sigma?
Sigma is an acolyte of the God King Nagash.
What? No, God King is Sigma.
I heard it from Nagash himself.
Sigma! Listen, between you and me, Sigma probably twatted him with a hammer.
Sigma betrayed him because Sigma is Craven.
Craven.
And an asshole.
Right, what? You saying that Sigma betrayed, he betrayed his twin, and then he went and betrayed, well,
Yes.
Of course he betrayed the Lord of Undeath. He's the Lord of Undeath! If you're going to betray anyone, you do that, Herr Doom Lord.
After he had learned from the Lord of Undeath, he wore Nagash's crown. He talked to Nagash.
What?
He learned necromancy from Nagash. For all we know, your Sigma is still walking around as a lich somewhere.
And before
Oh,
that,
fuck off! Says, I won't be having it, Herr Doom Lord. That's just not true.
It is true.
we all fell, and then Nagash stepped in, and
No, you don't. Oh,
Oh,
you don't know about
I
that. You
don't
were
know
gone by
that.
that point. Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
that explains it. Though we all fell, we followed him into chaos, and then he
What?
turned his back on us and left us.
Sigma wasn't. No. I should like to give you a proper lesson in what it is to be a member of the
We
Sigma.
shared a womb. Do you presume that I know him better than you?
Yes, I must do.
It is not his fault. He has been lied to by the cult. This is the point. I tried to tell the cult the truth, and the cult turned on me and tried to kill me, and that is why I am now an enemy.
I'm so
Sing
sorry.
Fader goes.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Aye, well, that's pretty fucking damaging to their cult if it's true.
It is true.
This Temple of Sigma in Middenheim?
Oh, more than one.
What has my clan been doing whilst I have been gone?
Well, this cult is spreading lies about Sigma.
I know the presumptive heir to your clan, although they don't take the title.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, because... And then he pauses. Oh, no, wait a minute. Dara told me. The last queen went missing.
I am not missing, I am here.
Well, quiet. And you're not with them.
But-
You might be she. Oh, that would mean you never get back.
Or are yet to come back. Perhaps she will end up in our time when we stop this storm.
Which would mean that you do not find your friends and your compatriots. Or your husband. Ah. Awkward. I said that out loud. I hate this place. I actually hate this
He's going to
place.
peek his head over the rock. Are they still
think-
firing arrows? Or?
They've stopped. The mist is down there. You're not even sure where they are. They're probably trying to negotiate this place, trying to find out how to get up to where you are. It apparently isn't easy.
Good.
Well, I say we go.
Well, if some of my clan is still alive, then I will find them. It is the next best thing.
Have you come from this Middenheim?
Me.
And Sigfeder?
Sigfeder says, I. And he pauses. Fuck my brain. Oh. Come on. Nah, I think I was being tortured. I was killed. I'm pretty sure I was killed. I'm pretty sure I'm dead. So I don't look like you. Maybe I'm not dead. No, I'm not dead. No, I remember. No, I'm not dead. No, I'm fine. No, I was chasing after my apprentice, watching him struggle with everything and laughing. I remember now.
Is there,
He says,
in terms like Lord Necromancer, like, is there different kinds of ghosts?
like
ghosts
do yourself test.
Yeah.
Like,
Solo ghosts.
12 successes.
There are all manner of ghosts, many of which are the different types are separated by how much of their soul they hold on to and what brings them from, what stops them from passing on, moving into the realm of more. He could be a ghost, but he would not look so physical. He's a ghost. No ghost generally looks this physical. He looks physical, very physical.
But is there any other way, given what he's thinking about the separation of the corpus and the etheric component? Is there anything else he thinks he could be?
He's most likely alive. Yeah, most likely alive by your guess.
Wait. So you know Lucas. Lucas knows you.
Aye.
And Lucas knows a bird. And
Aye.
who is your apprentice of which you speak?
It's his boy, the one that he looks after.
So he is also in this place, Lucas man.
Aye. And Lucas says, yes, I got sent away because they were all raiding it, like a party of looters.
With the elf that looks like me.
You think they are responsible for starting this storm?
Probably.
We have previous.
As Sigfeder goes, it's exactly the sort of daft batshit crap they'd get into. Oh, no, wait a minute, no. I was sitting with there's a camp of Ostlanders. I was talking to them. Aye. I remember now. So I was with a camp of Ostlanders. My boy had been out there, farting around as he does.
What is an Ostlander?
You know what an Ostlander is. You don't even need to ask it. Yeah. But you can ask it if you wish.
Yeah.
And he says, someone from Ostland.
Good sight.
Oh, I remember it now.
Can we wind back a second? You said this.
And a beastman comes tearing into the clearing with a large, gristly halberd, which it pulls back and thrusts directly towards Lucas.
Can I step behind the door?
You can step wherever you wish.
And
I'm going to step behind you.
Can you pull Lucas with you?
Wow. We do have a strike from said beastman.
And I try and...
Anyone who is an elf can react. Anyone who is a barbarian king can react.
Oh,
Anyone who is
I'm a barbarian.
there you go.
what are the chances? There are no such thing
If
as
there are any
coincidences,
dwarf queens here, they can also react if they wish to do so against the beastman bursting into.
Yes.
Yes.
Before,
his
I would
bloody
like
head
to take my sword
Mhm.
and strike his weapon out the way.
Okay, so do yourself a parry. Go for it. Can we have any success you got?
I get 20 successes.
Sweet. Okay. Poor beastman. As he goes, huh! As you draw the blade, pull it underneath his, and just twist it enough so that it just misses off towards the side, and then just slide the blade down the length of the halberd into its third arm, opening it up, giving a really nice anatomical display that Gerhardt would clearly be very proud of all the muscles and the bone, all bloody on the inside as well. The beastman, however, doesn't appreciate this art. This is not the sort of art that it was looking for, as it drops its halberd and howls.
I was going to cut its head off.
Go for it. I'll attempt, and some attempt.
12 successes.
That's more than enough. As out comes the blade, and ice breaks along its length. As
Have it, you bastard.
and it goes right almost the way through and freezes everything. It gets caught. This happens relatively frequently. You're used to it and you just pull it out. As the head then snaps off because it's all frozen along its length and the edges of it, and just breaks off, that beastman collapsing to the ground. Another 3 burst into the clearing though.
I'm ready for them.
Oh. This one just runs off the cliff and they bloody missed. I rolled 0, 0, 0, 0. I rolled a pure 100. This was sorry. Oh, I'll get you. Okay, definitely move out the way. Off the cliff he goes. One idiot.
That was our
That's a mighty 6 successes, which she's throwing at you. Are your dwarf going to respond?
Yes.
What is she doing?
Ideally, smooshing the two beastmen's heads together.
Lovely.
But if not, just scrunching one.
Scrunch. Ah!
Sorry, guys.
16 successes.
16.
You can take them all.
Yeah.
Why do they keep the rolling so low? Only 36 successes.
Oh, holy crap! As you twist round and slice at the one there, and as it goes over, she just grabs it as it's bending over, moves it to the other one, and butts their heads together, and pulls off one of their horns and slams it down into the back of its head. It collapses as the other one, she just beats.
I was talking.
Another beastman hits the center of the misty area where you are, and moves his way out of here. Nope! And twists, and could not run faster if it tried. As Lucas looks on, my. Sigfrider goes, there we go. Nice. I'm staying with you guys. He says, I'm staying with you guys.
You may stay with us if you tell me everything you know about the Lorelorn.
Alright, fair enough. Lorelorn, it's a big forest, a lot of elves live in it. Pretty fucking scary place. There you go. Oh, it's got a queen, it's called Mariseth. Might not be you.
Let's go. We need to walk now.
Does she have children, this queen?
I don't know. I don't know anything about elves.
Are there any in Middenheim? Where you have come from?
Aye.
What are their names?
Oh, fucking hell. He says, right, well, I met one, Alaminolith was there, obviously, and there's Alavandril, met him. Rolana, I met one called Rolana. Met another one, Gorthiel, I think his name was. Snooty bastard. Aye, totally snooty bastard. He was having none of it. They're the ones that I met. There you go.
And who rules Middenheim at this moment?
Aye, Boris Tallbringer.
Fucking Todbringers.
Were they a thing back in?
Tallbringers were not a thing that you're aware of. I mean, they were, but
Sure.
going under a slightly different name.
You
But
dislike the Todbringers?
Yes, they're craven. Traitors. Fools.
And they rule Middenheim.
They do.
This age.
I've sworn a vow to remove them from this position.
right, says Lucas. Feel creepy.
Who is your father?
He says, "You are creepy, Herr Doomlord."
Just answer my question. Not stop asking it.
Sam makes his way down. You end up going down an incline, clearly going in the same direction that they had found their way up. And whatever beastmen may have been potentially in your path have clearly decided, on the news being spread, presumably with the dark tongue equivalent of kick-ass and motherfuckers, that they've decided not to approach. Or at least, so it appears. Yes?
Can I ask a question?
Yes?
Is it such? Do I have such a way of marking time as marking it through the incursions of the
Yes.
the great incursions? Great.
Yes. But it's not how you mark time. I mean, you could do that, but you wouldn't. And it wouldn't be something that came to her mind. The time's marked by her lifespan.
Yeah, but
Entirely her lifespan.
no.
Because she's the queen of the wood.
To other people.
There is no reference to anyone else. It's her reign. That's the only time that matters.
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah.
That's not why I was.
And you don't care about anyone else's time.
No, that's never mind. It doesn't matter. That's not
You
why I
should,
was
well,
asking.
what are you asking then?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, cool. As you make your way down, and it appears that the beastmen are not all cowardly. They just withdrew for someone who is perhaps willing to stand up against something like yourselves. And that's where you find yourself. Down in the misty canyon area with lots of growths of different colours to all sides. And a great big beastman with about 30 to either side drifting back into the mist and possibly more, barring your path. To the side, holding a banner, is another beastman. And atop it, there is an open palm. And it glows with multicolored light.
It's a trap. Run.
We can sack them.
And looks down upon you. And then from all around at the back, as you move into this misted area, you hear, "Cause rock! Cause rock! Cause rock!" As they start bashing. And Kazrak steps forward, ready to fight. After the break.
My birthday, and everyone's teasing me. So please, if you do one thing today, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Join us on Discord. Give us money on the Patreon. Just do anything to save me from this hell.
An exultant howl spreads across the Beastman group as the ramshackle crew looks over at what might be altogether too many opponents. At the front of them, as they bellow, Kazrak, Kazrak, steps one large beastman. Hanging in tattered, fleshy, and furred remnants of people and beastmen. The banner with a big, crudely painted skull with horns on it is entirely secondary to the thing at the top. The eye in the hand that bathes this area in a lurid, multicolored light. Now, if we were in the Dracmel Forest, this would almost certainly be one of those moments where you would be in trouble. Because at its base level, you couldn't understand them. Nor they you. So it falls back to just simply who hits who first. Often. And beastmen are known for their love of a charge. But this is a bit different because we are not in, or are we, the real world. We're in a dream, or are we, where somehow communication is clear, and that is something that is obvious to all of you because you can hear the beastmen and their bellows and guttural cries, which to normal circumstances would be nothing more than that. In this instance are, go kill him, Kazrak. Bring him down. For the gods. For the herd. You can understand them clearly. Now, their debased form of dark tongue, you don't know. You have had many a run-in with beastmen, often on the receiving end of their ire, particularly because you're often also filling spaces that they like to fill out in the middle of nowhere, hopefully recuperating after another failed attempt to do a bit of doomlording. But you can understand them. And that could be important, particularly as the clear leader steps forward, brandishing its big, crude weapon, and then calls out a challenge. Intellectually, you've probably heard this challenge before in the past. You've known they've challenged you, but you've never understood it. It's always been in your own mind at the back, yeah, zap. Now I'm going to terrify them all. Indeed, I'm going to throw a doom bolt in your direction. Ha, ha, ha. Have you met my pet manticore? Serious doomlording. Yeah. But here we have no magic.
Where's your manticore?
Or manticore. Yet somehow, unfairly, they appear to have all their stuff.
Even the dead guy's got his magic sword. What's that all about?
So unfair. And it steps forward and bellows a challenge. And you understand it. And this is particularly for our dwarf queen, an unknown quantity. She has in her past accepted that they are nothing more than brutes of the forest and encountered them more than once. Mindless animals more than anything that would have intelligible conversations. And yes, they may have a crude intelligence, but they definitely don't have an ability to articulate thought in any serious fashion. Such ideas are quickly diminished by what is not an inarticulate challenge. It's not getting shouted, you're okay. Although he is shouting.
Okay.
I'm purposely going to avoid it because the bellowed chant that he gives is almost a chant. It rhymes in his natural tongue. It doesn't rhyme in this. as he calls out before the dark gods for you to all issue forth your champion to stand before the eye of Char and be judged and found wanting by the beast lord Khazrak, who will this day lay your soul down and pass it into the hands of the gods of chaos, who are this day watching us and our acts and have created this arena for this purpose. The blessed chosen time has come, and whoever escapes this place will be exalted before the gods. And the only escape is conflict. I, Khazrak, will be your doom. Choose your champion so that I may feast upon their soul and their flesh. And one presumes that the expectation is there will be no champion in this charge. But it's an unexpectedly formal challenge. As on the side, Lucas goes, am I?
Link arms with Lucas and take a step backwards.
Yep, you'll go with that one.
I'm going to stand behind those two.
With your baby.
With my baby.
Lovely. That leaves Sigfeder and 3 others who potentially could step forward. Sigfeder is not that guy. As he backs off as well. Beastmen are quite used to people backing away from them, bellowing in their faces, but they probably don't expect to be understood either. But it's interesting that they seem to have a formal route towards challenging. Is anyone going to step forward?
Is there like a way to assess what she thinks he might be?
Absolutely none. I mean, he's big. What more do you need to know? Big and it's nasty. You might survive, you might not. Your oath of kingship demands that you survive.
Yeah. That's the only thing that's stopping me.
That does, and if single combat means that you can drive back this herd, that very well could be the best route forward. You have to survive. And if nobody steps forward, they'll probably charge anyway. They're beasts. They're animals.
Doesn't look like anyone is going to do it. You think he'll...
Arthur's considering it.
I fought beastmen. Kill beastmen.
Marasith will step back.
He was kind of looking to Marasith to see, because...
She's looking at
My lady.
the one that's got the...
The big magic hammer.
Yeah, the big magic hammer.
And the dice
Plus,
rolls.
you're real, right?
But I've not fought.
Khazrak, with one hoof, stomps forward and growls, clearly about to give the command to charge. So if you're going to say, you're going to have to do it fast.
Get him, lass.
I'll go.
What are you saying?
I accept your challenge.
And the beastmen, who are all bellowing, "Yarra!" fall silent because they understand. And some of them look confused. A dwarf that speaks dark tongue.
Yes.
Khazrak lifts up his crude weapon, spins round, and then drops down low.
Yay.
Crump, crump, crump. Go weapons
We have
onto
every faith in
shields.
you. From behind.
Chuck your hammer.
As he gets ready.
Cool. Yeah, that's fun. What's the... How far are we from each other?
Well,
What's
we're a good 10, 15 paces away.
Okay.
It's a good bit of distance. If you wish to do something, you've got more than enough time before he arrives. One presumes that you want to have your hammer out rather than just,
Yeah,
not.
I'll take my hammer out, of course.
Mhm.
I'm thinking maybe, like, as he's charging, hit the ground, make him lose his footing. If that's something she thinks she
So
can
you're just going
do.
to go, whoa, bam, straight into the ground as he's going. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Okay, whoop goes the hammer as he dips down and he's getting ready for the charge. You fought beastmen many times and they have a blind spot because they often lower their heads to charge with their horns. And they follow that up with Often terrible weapon strikes. But it gives them a brief blind spot. When their sight goes down, their eyes, though, so bloody annoying. So annoying, because they can see far more than most other, because they are, at heart, something that you've debated with your old lore masters. Prey animals that act in the opposite way. They have far more periphery vision than most. So you don't get much of a chance of a drop on them.
What about up, though?
Up is also a potential option. You've struck them right in the horns. That sometimes worked. You've dodged. That sometimes worked. Ground. That's another potential work. Going up and over. That also works.
I feel like a ground slam dwarf hit would be good.
Yep, loving it.
Sure,
So-
like, in terms of size, even Kazrak
Test, please.
bent over is still much taller than a dwarf.
I bet she can jump really high though.
But like, how high can she jump?
Right,
I
she's
don't
going for
know.
the ground first. Though.
Yeah.
Bam! Go for it.
Critical.
Ooh, that was so close. 92, so that's...
Oh, that's a good roll.
44
44 success!
As she lifts up the hammer and the bellowed roar of Kazrak as he dips its head and charges forward.
Surely she has a thing she shouts as well.
Absolutely, for Karak's good.
Yeah.
And your ancestors. Crash! And stone. Meat. Fleshy stuff.
Oh.
Blood. Ground. Everything else flies. Much of it spraying up like a wave directly into Kazrak's but ready to butt head as it gets sprayed by this clatter. Your choice. Are you going to dive to the side? You're going to take it head on having done that? Or are you going to do something else? What's your plan?
I'm hoping this has blinded him enough that if she... Can she jump?
Of course you can jump if you wish to do so.
She jumps and hopes to at least either get on his other side or hit him from
So
the
she's
top.
trying to get on top and then
Yeah.
bash him from the top. As Kazrak goes down, and you attempt to go up. Athletics test, please. Interesting. Let's see what you get.
That's 43.
Sweet. Okay, as unexpectedly nimble.
Successes.
Yeah, totally. She bounces right up and uses the horn and pushes a weight down on it to twist its head to try and get up over it. Hammer swinging. He then uses the full force of his back to flex, and you fly directly towards the dwarf horde. Dwarf horde? The reinforcements! Surprise reinforcements! The beastman horde that he tosses you towards as he skids round. The strength in his back is far, far higher than you expected. As you tumble over, do yourself a test, please, to see how well he lands. She lands for me.
44 successes.
Superb. As she tumbles over and skids, one beastman takes a swipe and she just crunches it with a hammer. The runes flare across and the head explodes.
Damn right.
The skull, a part of it, flies past her ear and thuds into the
No,
ground.
one duel. Like, that's not odd.
No flesh, but a bit of brain still attached to said skull. As that drips down. As Kazrak, now back to all of you, belts towards you. Thud, thud, thud. Lifts up its weapon, and as it does so down the entire length, an oily, multicolored sheen drips off it. And at the very edge of it, you can see the dead skulls of your ancestors writ upon the length of its rather mouldering blade as it comes down.
Smash it with your hammer.
I should like to have from you a melee test.
44 successes. Oh, it sounds like a crit.
A number of times.
As the hammer comes up like so, and the blade goes through the center of it, shattering it into two pieces, as the blade then thuds directly into the center of the chest of the queen. It bites deep. One small shattered piece of your warhammer digs into your face. Another one, the side of your jaw. But this blade in your chest fills you with agony. Can I have a toughness test, please?
This is the
Crit it and just keep his sword.
Nope. That's
If it's a pass, is all
Yeah.
that's needed for this. As you go thudding down into the ground, and Kazrak, because he is, after all, a performance artist, doesn't finish you off with that enormous blow. You're bleeding badly. Your armor has been chopped through like it's nothing. You didn't expect that.
Yeah.
That's star metal it's gone through. As it turns round to its own and just roars in exultation. Because he's not just defeating you, he's consolidating his position. Which is always a concern for someone in his position. Making sure that there's going to be, we almost had a cat raid there. I can hear in the background. There's a bang, bang, bang. We're going to get in. The beastmen are out. You might not have heard that at your end, but it was definitely a distraction going on in the background. As celebrating success spins around. You're badly hurt. To the point that if anyone wishes to intervene, now's the time to do so. Because she's very possibly going to die.
Ask a question. Does Marasip have a bow?
No. So he uses two long thin blades with a sinuous edge.
Aye, Arthur is going to intercept.
Whoa! She's lying on the ground, defeated, barely breathing, rasping. Your chest has been opened. The pain is unbelievable. Your test was to keep yourself conscious. So you're conscious, but very, very, very sore. You have never been here.
Yeah.
Ever.
I can imagine.
And despair fills your soul. The idea that your people will lose their queen. Your oath. Your oath. Do yourself a willpower test.
Oh,
That's great.
that's a crit.
Beautiful. That's just lovely.
Roll again.
Get the extra successes, please.
That's
43.
43 and a crit.
Her oath. Her oath. He's spinning around. He's getting ready, charging in as she, clutching onto the top end of the broken hammer, pushes herself up to her feet. And the beastman turns round to see the blood flowing from her. Her chest plate half hanging off one side, half in place on the other, bound in by her long hair, which is now full of blood. And her face full of, not rage, no, concentration. Her people, her clan, her folk need her. She cannot fall this day. And indeed, she's passed her check. And if you don't know out there, we don't often do little rule asides because we've been playing for a long time, but we don't have many dwarves around. In our version of the dwarfs, they use oaths largely as their magic, their faith, really. So the divine aspect of dwarves are covered by their oaths, which give them a variety of special rules that allow them to do stuff. Each of the big major oaths do different things. In this case, it's the oath of kingship. And she critted. Superb. Which means that your next roll counts as a crit. Whatever you roll on your d10, say it's 21, that now is a 22. If you roll 33, it's a 33 standard. If you roll 42, it's a +4 critical.
Amazing.
So as you go forward and charge, indeed you get a charge off as your free action, and it will count as a crit.
44.
So
It would be.
it would have been a crit anyway.
No, I mean like.
Okay,
it would
which
be
means you roll again to see how many successes in total. That's right, it's going to get a surprise.
So that's
41.
41. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, math boy.
Thank you, Math Dad.
Holding on to the remains of her hammer. The fury of her ancestors shuddering with every heavy step. She swings. Kazrak goes for the dodge because receiving that weapon could shatter his own.
He was looking
And
away.
he did not crit his dodge, which means the hammer thuds into his side. Square and runes light up. And as they light up, across his long halberd, the sheen spills out a multicolored hued light across the area. Something is happening there. He has some form of magical artifact, whatever the heck it is. And the thud is followed by a heavy crunching noise, as what sounds like bone within may be breaking. As he tumbles to the ground, spins over, as you immediately follow up. How are you striking?
I mean, it's like a small hammer.
Yeah, it
right?
is. It's a very small hammer.
I mean, I'm still gonna go for it.
Wasn't Arthur still moving?
Oh, yeah. And if you wish to join in, you can.
Just chuck her his sword.
Nice.
And remember to shout that you're not an apex predator, you're a herbivore.
Hold on. Lass, take Caladwich. Take it. And he'll throw it.
Excellent.
That means I have to catch it.
Yes, you do. Do yourself a test on each side. All you need to do is not roll 9600 because you're both very good at this stuff.
Yeah,
88.
Oh, it's a crit though. I love that. I'll allow that to turn into immediate attack as well.
Nice.
Okay, as you come forward, just the shattered remains of your hammer as you just pull it from the air where you tossed it. Spin, spin, grab it and slam downwards towards. How'd you roll?
88.
I did 45 and a crit.
It's a crit.
What,
as well.
like the original one? No, you mean again?
Yeah, this is for the actual strike roll.
Oh, why do they keep... that's 40
Oh,
successes.
sweet. As the blade comes crashing down and hits him on the side of the face, cutting deep, biting deep into the horn, cutting out part of its ear, slicing open, because of the angle that it's at, the cheek, and chipping right through a part of the bone, and ice spreads across its face.
Nice.
As it howls on the ground. Do yourself a cool test.
Cool test. Thank you. That's 37.
Sweet. Up above, that baleful eye looks down upon the combat initiated in its name. And it likes what it sees. But it is, after all, change. It does not really care who wins. That's not how it works. It's going to be a test to see who gets the mutations.
Okay.
Ting! Kazrat. I have this ready. Okay, let me just check. Cool. The changer of the ways enjoys this, likes the bloody conflict between the great beastman and the dwarf. And it rewards the beastman by bringing it back to reality.
Oh.
And the beastman vanishes. You have pretty much dismissed it.
You've been fucking this sitting. Hammer and sword.
Best sword ever! As
I'll have me sword.
as the beastmen,
I think I'm just
I look
standing
around,
there.
some of them, I go, "Huh, huh." Most immediately withdraw into the mist.
Dieter would like to yell, "Behold your new queen!"
Sure.
Some of them might stay. We might get bodyguards.
We're kind of the good guys. Maybe not you.
I misunderstood.
Grey.
Give me my beastman army. I misunderstood.
Beastmen scatter,
Cowards.
leaving you all there with Lucas cowering at the back going, "Oh my God. Well done."
I'm assuming the reality of this is hitting me
Yeah,
now.
you're in agony. You can barely move.
I'm assuming that they took the standard.
Oh yeah, that's gone too.
Can anyone heal her?
I mean, can I attempt a heal test?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Get your creepy hands out.
She's
Let me see your wound. Yeah, so 11 successes.
Sweet, yeah. She's fucked. She's going to be moving slowly. She's broken at least 2 of her bones in her ribcage. How the hell she moved in the first place, you've no idea. Power of your oath stealing you through there. Mm-hmm. No way you were going to fall this day. And her constant demands that she's fine and it'll be okay is clearly nonsense. But there is a certain grit and determination. Her oath kingship means that in the preservation of her own life, she never loses movement, even though she has all the trappings of being absolutely in agony. But she doesn't lose any movement. She doesn't lose any of her skills. She still, even with her crits, moves at full pace.
Just wrap me up tight. Be fine.
And she's badly wounded. It's not fatal, you don't think, but it's would normally be in these circumstances. Wow, that went better than I expected. For someone who just had their chest caved in.
Yeah, she'll put her arm on. Oh, wow, you're substantial. And be like, thank you.
Goes through.
Oh.
Well, thank you.
I'm just glad it worked.
The ethereal blade absolutely did work. In fact, you're half convinced it may have done better than your own hammer.
Yeah.
You didn't think your hammer could be broken.
Make sure you get the other side. Take it with me.
It's shattered into pieces. Pick up a bit of the half bit and maybe
face.
You were mighty indeed.
Thank you.
That's most impressive.
I feel safer knowing that we're with you.
Sigfeder says, so we're carrying on then?
Nice.
Yes.
Right. Let's hope there's no more of they fuckers out there. There is a chance that you'll meet other beastmen. Just going to roll it. It's a disappointingly really not beastman roll. That's as far as away from my intent as possible. That was a 1. So there's a chance that is not seen through. And you make your way down through the lower area from the other side of that cliff for some time, making your way through the mist. It's difficult to navigate, easy to trip. It's not easy footing. And every once in a while, whatever you're standing on just moves because it's actually alive. It's at this point that Helschnicht realizes that he'd managed to spend at least 5 minutes without breathing. And he had to remind himself to breathe again.
Oh, no.
This place, a little bit of a...
Totally normal.
This place is odd. And he also notices he's not eaten anything. And is concerned that he's been here for a long time because his body might be wasting away if it is a dream. And if his body's wasting away, that's bad. Getting out of here soon and fast is a top priority.
Lucas, you said that your compatriots had gone into this place in the company of the elf who resembles me.
I said they might have. I mean, they might not be here.
No, but they had come here. Why were they here?
Chasing cultists, bad sorts.
Right.
Nice and simple, nothing complicated.
Sigmar cultists.
No, cultists of the ruinous powers.
Yes, I have heard of them.
Sig.
A compatriot of mine was also hunting them. He intended to wipe them out.
Ah, right.
Who are
really? I find it so confusing when Doom Lords go chasing after cultists. I mean, what? Sigfeder says, they're not all on the same side, you know. He said, I understand. It's just so frightfully confusing.
We are trapped in the machinations of the ruinous powers, and I wish to be free of their net.
And who is your compatriot that is hunting them?
He is a fellow necromancer.
Well, does he have a name?
Yes, but I have forgotten it.
Ulrich Ulrichson.
Ulrich Ulrichson.
Ulrich Ulrichson. Is he also aged like yourself?
No.
Right.
Don't we know?
Yeah, don't we know?
You don't know.
No.
IPC.
He sounds a lot like David Attenborough.
A wheezy one.
Yeah.
Right, so...
we were separated in the storm of the magic.
And it is a dark time in your time?
Well, I mean, the Todbringers remain in command of Midnight, so yes, it is a
Lucas
dark
says,
time.
apparently there's going to be some sort of great chaos incursion.
Says who?
Did I just say that out loud?
Who says this?
The elf. She's constantly going on about it. Witter, witter, witter. The end of the world's coming. The end of the world. The end of the world. Constantly. I mean, it's like she hasn't got any other concerns.
I mean, the end of the world is rather a pressing concern, Lucas.
Well, I try to avoid these things. Well, one doesn't like to think about, impending doom, lords.
It is all right. There is only one way to stand against the end times and the chaos. We must close the gate in the north, and only Nagash can do this.
How?
He just looks at you. You're insane. You're insane. You're actually insane.
Very much like my book.
You're insane. You're actually insane.
Why is that insane?
As well say, the only way to save the world is to drain the sea. Oh yes, let's start that then. With a teacup, perhaps. We're going to get there eventually, folks. Don't worry.
I think, Lucas, firstly, you underestimate the power of Nagash, and secondly, you talk confidently about things about which you know very, very little. Are you a wizard?
No.
Are you a renowned necromancer?
I would like to make it clear.
Are you a living god with the power of life and death?
I
in
am
your
certainly
hands?
not an ex-Doom Lord or any equivalent, he says.
Still very much a Doom Lord.
You said that out loud. Did you know that is hurtful?
I thought we were becoming friends.
He says, I don't understand this place. There's ghosts and dwarves and Doom Lords.
Is the dog still here?
Mm-hmm. Just walk on
And
little tail
dogs. Do
wagging.
not forget the dogs.
We are moving while we do this, right?
Yeah.
So how is this Nagash going to close this gate?
Because he's powerful.
You know that was the Doom of Grimner, the great dwarven ancestor, one of the very first dwarfs and dwarf god. And his doom was to try, and he swore the Slayer Oath, the very first to do so. Every Slayer copies him. Every dwarf Slayer whose life has become unworthy for whatever reasons they claim, they swear the oath of the Slayer, the Oath of Grimner, and take on his trappings. In his case, there was only one thing that could potentially stop him, and that was the gates themselves, and he marched towards it. Presumably, gates still open, he didn't exactly succeed. And if your dwarf god can't succeed, you're pretty convinced that no human thing could ever succeed as well.
Well, Nagash could be not human. She doesn't know that.
For a dwarf, human.
It's a human talking about it. It's probably a human.
Sorry, human.
Yeah, quite.
More importantly, now your hammer is crushed. How are we going to stop this storm? You said that might stop it.
When we get there, we will work out how to do it.
I do not wish to die.
Nor do I.
We won't die. We will get back.
But we must work together to get there.
Dying's not so bad.
Sorry, I just rolled a 9. Oh, I've reached the point of potential random encounter. I've got one.
It's never good.
It's a double 9. So,
Double 9.
refreshes your breath. Natural. No. No. And as you're making your way towards the gentle rise at the other side of this valley of mist and horror, you encounter another party. And it's one of those ones where you're both sort of skulking through the mist, and it's very much like a, huh? As you see each other across the mist.
Is it like Shaun
Shaun
of the
of the
Dead?
Dead.
It's another version
They have
of
a
us.
ghost.
A necromancer, a ghost.
No, they have rat men.
Oh.
Oh.
Several rat men. And they have a standard also, which is being held by a very tall rat man. More a rat ogre than a rat man.
We need a standard.
Holding on to a standard with a pole about this wide. Attached to that, there is a man wrapped around its arms at the top, and his body hangs from it. His hair hangs limp, and he's naked. And he has in the center of his chest a large carved 8-pointed star with a circle around it. And on this side, a large purple hand tattoo on his shoulder.
Serves him right.
What does his face look like?
Pained.
Does he look like Gerhardt?
No. Because that would be hilarious. But no. Sitting on the end of the standard.
Is he breathing?
That's a question that you're not entirely equipped to answer right at this point through the mist.
Not while I'm hiding behind him.
Yeah, quite. As the rat ogre carrying said standard, with various Skaven, all rat men, of which there's a good 6 or 7 of them, but one of them's quite different to the others because he has entirely grey fur and horns.
Oh.
A staff held in hand, top of which has got a triangular symbol. It glows ever so slightly in the mist, causing the mist itself to have a greenish tint. As it turns round and says, in the language you can clearly understand, shit! As one of the other Skaven says, do we fifi? Go, yes, yes! As the big rat ogre, which can be understood, says, I kill now. And lifts up the standard as the Greyford one goes, no, need it! And pulls out Peak Leveler.
Oh, the Grey Seer.
Does he
Its
have to roll
long,
cool?
thick blade. And holds it. The Grey Seer, like all of you, probably has the same problem. No magic. What it relies upon can't be brought to bear. But it does have a really big sword, which it holds out.
How do you recognize the rune right away?
She's not a rune master, so no, she won't recognize the runes. These are not standard dwarf runes. These are weapon runes in this particular case. And she's no great scholar of weapon runes. But it's definitely dwarfen. A big dwarfen blade. Now, for those who would recognize it, is anyone here going to recognize Peak Leveler? Marasith has seen Peak Leveler. You have seen Peak Leveler. You haven't, and you haven't. So, there we go. No, you have seen Peak Leveler also. Okay, so you recognize it as the blade of Midnight. The Electric Count's blade. That apparently this rat man has. Six feathers, yeah. Totally going to recognize it. In the back, there's a Skaven who has a helmet on. On top of his head, sitting on top of his head, and it's strapped to his head on the right, with the helmet sitting on the top. And he's sitting there with his halberd, with this helmet sitting on the top.
He might be an ally.
As they warily look in your direction, as the grey one, upon seeing all of you, goes, back away, yes, and starts pushing itself back from where you are. Moving over towards the mist. Are you doing anything?
Has she seen Skaven before? Don't they kind of...
Oh, she's fully aware of Skaven.
Right.
Yes,
yeah.
She's fully aware of Skaven.
So she'll tell King Arthur to do something big and showy.
They're already fleeing already.
But
But like...
Ulrich!
Like any old good proper barbarian king does, he's charging the Skaven. There's a high possibility of Musk of Fear being squirted everywhere. Apparently they'll die! They are not running, or at least that one isn't.
Stand and fight.
And they're not going. Oh, interesting. As they settle in. So, hey, Barbarian King, you're charging whom? I mean, Skaven, big rat ogre, try to take that down first.
Biggest one.
The biggest one is the rat ogre, makes sense.
One.
Okay, so charge up towards it and swing. Go for it, take your swing. I shall do mine. Oh no, I am going to get hit. I got a 97.
9 successes.
97, I'm getting well hit. Okay, so the blade slams into the side of it. Crystalline, frozen blood breaks at the edges as you notice, having cut through it, that underneath the flesh, you burst one of the pipes that are pumping something around on the inside. And green goop pumps out from the inside. The goop appears to be entirely resilient to the freezing. It must have a far lower freezing point. As it kept spouts like it's green blood, but the actual blood of the rat ogre itself is freezing in place as your blade slices across it and hits a mangled twisting of pipes that push into the flesh on that side and just burst through it as if it's nothing, cutting it like it's paper. And again, a bursting of green fluids. On its back, one of the vats of green fluid suddenly drops down fast as it pumps out. The beastman, rat ogre thing. Yes?
Do I know about Skaven, or do I just...
Oh, you're very aware of Skaven, yes.
Okay.
They're a constant gnawing at the roots of your forest.
Do I know the grey ones are usually wizards?
Yeah.
So presumably I know that one's probably in the bad... Like, it's just got
that
a
seems
sword.
fair.
Yeah, I'm gonna...
As it howls as its limbs start to spasm. Okay, what's the elf doing?
I'm gonna charge the grey one and try and disarm it.
Okay, so you're going to go for trying to disarm.
But I'm not going
Do
to
you
go
test,
for
please?
the blade because presumably I know about... If I know what peak leveler is, I know that they're pretty mighty blades. So I want to go for the creature, not the blade.
Sounds good.
17 successes.
Huh, nice. The elf skips forward. The grey seer backs off, holding the big weapon, stabs it forward a couple of times in your direction as you skip from one side to the next side to the next side to the next side. And as you get close, it just swipes with its giant blade, because that's going to stop you, right? But you drop down and limbo underneath all of that with ease. And scraping not more than about this from the ground, you slide as the blade goes across the top, and you just slice across the back of its tendons with your blade, causing the hand to immediately spring, and the sword swirls off and then hits a tree at the side. This tree is made of something that's not stone, and it just studs into place there. As it looks at its claw.
For the sword.
As you then bounce back and then start darting for the skull. As it goes, run! And runs off in that direction.
Barcool versus peak leveler.
Arthur's just laying about him.
What is the dwarf going to do? You're in trouble.
I got a tiny little...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not going to do
Can they cope with it, do you think? Leave them to it? You're in a difficult place. Do the kingly thing. Allow the others to deal with it. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Are either of you two going to do anything?
I can't fight, can
Oh,
I?
you can fight.
Can
You can
I?
fight really well.
Brilliant. I'll just say,
Doesn't mean
this.
you will.
Andy, hold the baby.
Not that fucking baby. The baby Beebus.
As she's
cursed object.
the baby beezus. Good old beezy. Cursed
me the
baby.
baby.
Get it away.
The only thing would be, and I suspect the elf moves so quickly that it will be irrelevant, but if Dieter was closer to where Peak Leveler had gone than her, he would probably have gone for that first as the symbol of authority in midnight.
As
But I'm guessing he's not.
she whips out a relatively crude blade, runs forward and bellows forth, Azazel! Dips down and rolls.
9 successes.
Goes in and takes her blade and rams it right into the crotch of her helmet-wearing Skaven and lifts him.
Oh my god.
Probably not for long.
And holds it.
Slides down.
And just looks at the Skaven, holding the Skaven who is impaled on her weapon, and just looks at the other Skaven who run. That one screams. Just screams on the end of her blade as she looks up. Azazel. And plunges its blade down into the ground, causing the blade to pass through its chest and pinning it there. Nice. Good job.
Okay. Work it off. Thank you so much. Where were we?
What remains of the Skaven scatter. There's a big blade there.
Is this blade missing in anyone's time?
And Lucas goes, yes.
Good.
What is it?
It is Peak Leveler, one of the 12 blades forged by the dwarves for Sigmar's people.
Yeah.
Dwarves forged him a blade.
Bloody
Before
disgrace.
they made him his hammer.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
this...
so were the rune bags actually around during this time if Gal Moraz was around?
Your
Yes.
time, no.
He had Galmaraz.
Yeah, Galmaraz.
Yeah,
The
The
Rune
Rune
Fangs
Fangs
were
were
made
made
post.
after.
Rune Fangs made long after. Yeah. They don't arrive until 99 IC. So 99
Of
years
course
after he's crowned.
they were made for my-
Are you telling me that Toddbringer has lost his sword?
No, he hasn't lost it. He knows exactly where it is. As do we. It's there.
And like teacher will like just double over, just like an excessively lengthy laugh.
You know, I think Mr. Stibby about all this. It's more of a cackle. Oh dear.
There's two of them.
Am I like
Forgive me, I got carried away.
a highly political creature even in this era?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just
Oh yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Your brain's a bit foggy, but yes,
Yeah,
that's the answer.
Does the helm
Hold sword tightly.
Does the helm look cool and shiny to any of us?
Yeah, no,
Cool.
no.
Guess
no,
it's
just a
staying there.
It's just a silly skeeving hat.
Mm.
As Sigfader goes, well, fuck me. As Lucas goes,
Well, Lucas does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucas
So
should
from our
know.
perspective, that's
Picks
not a
up
silly
that hat,
Stephen hat.
looks
That's
at
a
it,
human
goes,
hat.
well, look at that.
Is the helmet significant, Hermula?
He says, I don't know, but somebody wants it. They stole it, so I'm going to take it. He says,
Does he do the little strap?
no,
It
So-
fits you better.
fits him perfectly.
Suits you. It almost looks as if it was made for you.
He says, no, it's very old. He says, it was made for an old emperor.
What
Made for you.
A Middenland or Dratvelder emperor? It's confusing depending on which version of history you go.
What was his name?
Manfred.
And
Do
this
I-
was his helm?
Do I recognize his name? Only 5 successes.
Could be any of many. There's multiple Manfreds that ruled.
Right. And even Toddbringers.
No, not in this case.
Lady Marasith, do I refer to you as Queen?
I like to think that you would, yes.
Queen Marasith. I need to go north, but you have said that the North Sea are going to be.
They will be driven into the sea.
Then
They
how,
will.
how can I protect my child if where I'm taking them isn't going to work? Can you help me?
Let me look at the baby.
300 years too late.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
if you...
cannot help you. I am in your future. You must find another way. If he goes north for the baby,
Sigfader says,
then you go south.
that's not going to work, is it? You just run. You just run fast as you can if you're concerned with such things. There's nothing you can do.
His reach is going to be immeasurable.
I will. You know, he's a god.
No, he is a necromancer.
He's an arse.
Yes.
Always will. Just because he was
Craven.
born first.
Yes, a craven.
I, too, have a twin.
Are they? Are they?
Sorry.
So we're relatable.
So you know what it's like.
I do.
They run amok.
I do, yes,
How
yes.
dare he leave me with this?
Was it a substance?
He didn't leave you. You stole your child.
Shush!
Lies are hard here.
Yeah,
The truth often
Okay.
comes out.
I might have taken the child. Anyway,
And then
it's
you
mine.
regret saying it almost immediately afterward, where you go, I've said that out loud.
Well, it's mine too. I can feed it, he can't.
Lucas, your Sigmar,
Yes.
this craven god.
No, he's not craven.
He is craven. He's
Craven.
not a god.
Who's his representative?
What do you mean by representative?
Who says his words? Who?
Well, they've got a cult. He has the Grand Theogenist at the very top. He's like the equivalent of, you won't know that term either. He's like the equivalent of the top of the cult of Ulrich, I suppose. Although you're early, so you won't have one.
But who,
No,
who
there
does
was an
he
Ulrich. Vulcan, I think his name was. So
Who does-
our Ulrich.
who
He's
does
like
he-
our Ulrich.
talk through?
You mean like a... Well, it's a disturbing question, if ever I heard one.
Well, you know,
Sigmar's not known for having prophets, but he apparently
Because
does
he's
have one.
not a god.
But he does have one.
He does, yes, in these dark nights, which makes sense because he is looking out for his people.
And who
It
is
says
it?
Lucas feeling rather, the only person here who thinks Sigmar's a good guy. Embattled on all sides.
Who is this prophet of which you speak?
He's just a prophet. He's not just a prophet. He speaks the words of Sigmar.
Why do you want to know?
Well, if he's spreading lies and fake stories, then if we shut the prophet up, we shut Sigmar up.
The lies are coming from the cult. I'm not aware
Yeah,
of
he
this
speaks directly the
prophet.
words of his god.
And is he venerated in his cult for this?
Well, he's scared to go to them because they'll take him away. Drunkenly admitted much.
Do you
That
know
was
him?
Kemperbad.
Because the cult lies.
Of course they do. It's
No.
Baltimore.
He's afraid that they'll just take him because they'll want to know his words. They'll want to know what Sigmar says. They won't allow him out. He's afraid that they're just going to take him. And he thinks he's got a bigger, higher purpose.
Well, perhaps if he has a link to Sigmar, he is the only one who could tell people the truth.
I wonder if he could pass a message on.
But you can't tell the truth. I mean, the Empire would fall apart. Is that what you want to happen? The
Yes.
Empire falls apart.
The Empire must fall apart, for it is founded upon a lie.
There is a great incursion of chaos coming. If it falls apart, we'll die.
The Empire is founded upon chaos.
Who cares what it's founded on? What matters is what it is today. And today it stands against such things.
Does it?
Yes, it absolutely does.
And who
And it
are-
has all manner of naughty folk who try to do things from within that, to paraphrase one of my friends, we twat them. Sigfeder goes, oh my fucking
All
God.
manner of nasty folk within. What you're saying is the Empire is corrupt.
Well, I think you are swayed by your long life. You have forgotten what it is to be mortal, my friend.
Oh, I am all too aware of what it is to be mortal. I will grant you I have potentially been swayed by my centuries of enmity for Middenheim.
Yes, I mean, what was your...
That I will
Your-
acquiesce to.
This man's childhood, the humans, they come and they go. What you have to consider them as is a flock,
I should.
easily herded by dogs.
Lucas.
She looks like really
I
All right, Meat Pie, where are we going next? And Meat Pie heads off. All right, let's go.
All I know is that Sigmar killed 4 of the king's children,
What?
and he must pay
He
for
said,
that.
Lucas just turns around and says, killed 4 of your king's children? What are you talking about?
To force us to guide him through the Ulrichsburg.
He killed children?
Don't act surprised. This is what
That's
he does.
surprising! Our story is that he climbed up the outside of the bloody rock. He had a nice little hike up there.
I mean, that
He
does sound-
he
that does sound
challenged the
absurd
king.
when you
The
say
king
it out loud,
refused to
Lucas.
come down. The king didn't come down, so he went and climbed up himself, snuck up upon him, and gave him a challenge, and they had a fight.
Always has done since he was a kid and fell out of a tree.
He is a bully, and he climbed over the corpses of my people.
No!
That sounds like
No, Meat Pie, lead the way. He says, he goes off, and Sigfrider goes, fucking hell.
Dwarves have long memories.
And it's in my book. And that will be my book, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that grudge is held. The children that Sigmar killed to force Clan Gazani to guide him through. And he, according to your records, and it's what your ancestors marked down, he killed children.
Yeah.
Sigfeder says, well, lucky that sort of thing can't be faked, eh? I mean, were you there?
I was there when he killed the Nossi. We lived in peace with them for generation after generation.
No, fair enough.
And I
Fucking elves. he
held
says,
him. I
I'm coming
heard
after you, Lucas.
the screams of the children
Fucking
that
hell.
he slew.
Fucking hell. Says Sigfeder. Fucking hell. Oh no. Fucking hell. Are you coming?
Aye, we're moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Arthur will move
So-
up towards Marasith, though.
You are also a wizard then.
He goes, aye. I know my way around the chants, here or there.
Did you trained in one of these colleges?
Aye, that'll be newfangled business to you, won't it? Fuck me. Fuck me. Aye, I trained in one of the colleges.
What are the colleges?
Oh, fucking hell. Fucking hell.
In the time of my youth in the South, the cult of Sigmar persecuted those of us who could use magic.
Mm-hmm.
To be a wizard was to be intolerable. Middenheim was one of the few havens for our people.
Aye.
What does this have to do with the colleges?
Well, in the last great war against Chaos, Magnus the Pious, who was the emperor, he decided that he needed magic to win the war, and so he founded these colleges of magic with some of your people, I believe.
What people?
Elves.
Do you know their names?
Teclis.
I do not know him. He came to these lands?
3 of them did.
Sigfeder goes,
Was he
fuck
from
me, is this
the
even
Lore
real?
alone?
Because if this is real, this is fucking mad.
Was he
the
from
others?
the Lore alone?
It was from over the sea. I'm assuming he would know the name. From over the sea, the land of the elves.
Of course.
Seems very unlikely to you. Deeply unlikely.
Did he have any other helper elves?
Well, there were 3 of them.
3 elves.
Sure. Up at the
It
front,
is more
Lucas.
likely they were denizens of the ruinous powers.
Lucas
Who
turns
bewitched your
around
people?
to Sigfeder and says, do you think this is real? Do you think this is actually happening? Sigfeder goes, man, I've had some pretty bad dreams from some pretty heavy drugs. He says, and I think this is real, he says, which means I think I might actually be dead. And that's upsetting me a little, just between you and me. Well, what do you mean? He says, well, it's somebody's dream. If it's yours, makes sense I'm here. If it's mine, makes sense you're here. But it doesn't make sense for any of them. Which means it's some sort of shared delusion. Which means we've probably slipped into the aether somehow.
I was thinking perhaps the reason we cannot do the magic is because our corpus is separated from our etheric selves.
There's no wind here. There's no winds of magic.
Or can we simply not perceive them?
There's no wind.
He can perceive.
There's no winds, there's magic. He's perceiving the source of the magic. We can only use the winds of magic because we're corporeal beings, and here we're incorporeal. There is no wind because there's no corporeal wind here. It's just the substances of what's made around us. It would be like a demon coming through to our land and trying to channel the dirt. They can't. It's just a different stuff. There's no winds of magic here because we're in a place where there is no wind.
Dieter just for a second attempted to channel the dirt, just in case.
It sadly does not work.
It's worth a try.
I keep getting interrupted. But I wanted to ask King Arthur. Queen Mercy says that the brass keep was made by her sister. What do you know it as?
It's made by dwarves.
Okay, so...
It's lost by dwarves.
Well...
it's true.
She knows that... She thinks it was elves and
Originally,
then
elves made the location from your perspective, and dwarves took over when the elves abandoned it. And then it got abandoned in turn later.
Yes.
And in your time, it's held by bandits, which you were actually making your way up to clear.
Yes, well, we were going to deal with that after the original dwarves left. But I am inclined to believe the elf origin. It fits my story the best.
Well, of course, and I would remember, whereas I was ancient by the time King Arthur walked the earth.
You've been around.
Looks off into the distance, dreaming of her youth. I ran through the forests of another land.
At the front, Lucas says, she's really quite like that. Sigfeder shrugs.
Yes.
I'd like you to make me a promise
Mhm.
in honour of our old allyship. I can't do much as I'm dead. But you seem to be alive. I'd like you to try and kill this prophet of Sigmar. If he's spreading lies, it's only trouble for us. Can you do that? Or can you try?
If he is with my sister, and he's
Potentially leading her astray.
leading her astray, as I suspect is happening, then yes, I will dispense with him.
Good. Can't be having no craven god. It's Ulrich we should be worshipping, not Sigmar.
It's Nagash in who we should put our faith.
Oh my God.
It's the only one who can stop the chaos.
Do I
Lucas.
know who Nagash is?
Lucas. No.
No.
Lucas, nudge them. Sigvader goes, aye, fuck, Doomlord.
I do not know this creature of which you speak, but in my experience, the best faith that any person can have is in themselves. The gods are hungry and capricious,
He is
and
a living god. He is on this earth. He is the master of undeath.
then that is even worse.
I have studied at his feet.
And you found him a kind master?
I found him a fair master. I found him to be a good ruler
A good ruler of what?
of people, of the world.
You
He
have,
stands against the
Sigvader
ruler's
goes,
powers.
aye, wait a minute. You chatted to the man.
Yes, he is my master. He taught me. He's the reason I can do what I can do.
Fucking hell, this is the best dream ever. So you're telling me you actually talked to him like face to whatever it's got?
I mean, he was significantly taller than me, so I had to look up. But yes.
Did he move? No, he was basically like a statue just sitting on his throne
No, he just...
without a crown.
And what?
notably.
Without his crown, of course, because the Craven Sigmar took it.
And what does he want?
To stop the ruler's powers, to stop the destruction of the world.
Law,
Why?
order.
Order. To stop chaos. He stands in opposition to all that they stand for.
It's fucking blow my head in. Says Sigvader.
I have a question. You said Sigmar learned how to rule from him. Then
then-
why is he
Then
such
I
a
betrayed him.
terrible ruler?
Well, he wasn't. All of these terrible things were before. Were when he was fallen to chaos. He had fallen to chaos, yes? While fallen to chaos, he betrayed you in a craven manner. He killed members of your royal family in order to get to Arthur, in order to kill him in a craven fashion. Yes, he was fallen to chaos. Then he came to Brasskeep. He defeats a necromancer. He takes the crown from the necromancer, which is the crown of Nagash.
Why
This
didn't
allows him
Nagash
to-
have his own crown then?
Because he had been laid low by
Right.
a craven attack in the past. But
Happens.
rub
your skull.
Does it not? But this crown was connected to Nagash, and so Nagash spoke with him, and he learned. He learned necromancy. He learned how to rule. Is how he founded the empire.
And because he's already fallen, Nagash couldn't turn him against chaos or the ruinous powers.
Or perhaps he lives still. For if he has fallen and he dies, he goes to the ruinous powers. But necromancy would be a way for him to extend his life,
It wouldn't surprise me.
and therefore not die, and therefore not fall to the ruinous powers.
What
Sigvader
happened
goes,
then?
or he just fucking ascends as a god. Can't claim your soul if you're a god. That's one way out.
Exactly.
Fuck me. Fuck me. I better not be fucking dead. I got people I want to tell us to, just to discuss it with, you know. What does this mean? I can't tell that to a Sigmarite. Fuck.
I
He
mean,
burned me.
Sigmar isn't awesome.
Aye, well, you're a sibling, you'd say that. I hate my brother too. And my sisters.
He was also my co-ruler and my lover.
Alright,
Is
I'm
that
not that.
usually amongst the humans? This is forbidden. Was it not so in your time?
Not at all. You think of them as grubby little buggers who'd be happily fucking anything. Definitely not a Marasith line.
Yeah.
She would absolutely expect this of
that of the
humanity.
humans. Yep.
Yeah.
Got you.
Particularly because she herself has absolutely no issue with it because it's very common amongst elves as well.
I
But for
know
humans,
that.
it tends to cause mutation. But then anything that's even slightly weird
Yeah.
causes
Looks at
mutation.
the baby.
The baby beavers.
It was actually a bee.
Yeah. It appears to be just a normal baby, but you are now holding doubts.
Baby.
Baby.
Yes, that's
All
more
human
buzzing.
Well,
Do we appear to be getting closer?
Yes. You're almost cresting the top of the other side now. And ahead, you can feel the great swirl, or where you think you need to guide everybody else to go to.
I could try to hit it
Tango
anyway,
fork?
but it's
Why not?
As I say,
harder.
we will see what you say. Maybe that there is something as simple as turning a key,
Perhaps.
placing something somewhere, removing something from somewhere.
Have found hitting things.
Tell us, Andy, what happens now?
Happy birthday to me.
Sometimes with the arcane hitting it may be counterproductive. It may lead to a greater etheric backlash.
Fair enough. You would know such things.
Indeed.
So Sigfeder says, right, so let's just see if I catch this right. You're saying that the only way that you reckon that the world should land it should be all humans turn around to their Lord and Saviour, the Lord of Undeath, who at his core wants to turn everyone into living undead things so that their souls don't go beyond into the great realm.
It didn't say that.
I'm extrapolating from what he's saying here.
I mean, you're extrapolating, I think, not necessarily accurately.
are you sure?
Nagash,
Fuck, I feel like I'm at some sort of sermon.
his power is unlike that of the liches.
Why?
He simply does not die. When he dies, he simply reforms.
So he's a great necromancer, is what you're saying. He's not a great lich. He's not a great undead thing. He's more. He's alive
He
still.
is fully corporeal.
And that's what you're chasing yourself. Yeah, right, there you go.
I do not want to die.
Hey, well, you know, if anyone's up for a bit of doom lording, fuck.
It would be the
Lucas
Doom
is looking at him. Seriously. Right. Mad, isn't it? I mean, that's basically the same line that this colour Sigmar takes, which is actually disturbing.
But as I say, the cult of Sigmar is founded upon death and necromancy. This entire empire is founded on what? A chaos cultist who has then learned necromancy.
Fuck me.
I don't know why you're surprised.
I'm not surprised. I'm outraged.
What?
At Sigmar's deception, his craven, his dishonesty.
How,
He turned on his master.
how do dwarves feel about necromancy when they worship their ancestors? They have to
Nope.
be, right? Like,
Necromancy bad. Magic in general, yeah, fuck no. But then humans do all sorts of magic that you disagree with.
sure.
They outlaw one version of magic one year and they don't the next year. In your version of the world you come from, all magic's outlawed.
Mm.
All of it, but apparently these come from, Sigfeder, comes from a realm where magic's not outlawed at all. Humans, they're inconsistent.
Fair enough.
How
We're
Human
would,
stuff.
fickle. We're
how,
fickle.
would, how would my brother atone for what he did to your children?
There would be no atonement.
Give up his life.
Yeah.
Would,
To scrape that one off, it's going to have to be death.
if he
And in
wants...
fact, one way of attacking that might be actually what he suggests. Remove the voice of Sigmar from the table. But interestingly here, you think that her clan, utterly unaware of it. But you've dealt with dwarf clans a lot, with you and your brother. A lot of lies, a lot of, give and take. A lot of, we're definitely heroes. 100%, yeah. Well, you saved their lives, didn't you? Literally saved the High King's life. Became a dwarf friend. It's brilliant. Oh, he did. But she's carrying the book. And the book's lost to time. Here, that clan has absolutely no awareness of what it actually has as its list of clan grudges. It's lost. So returning that would effectively turn all those dwarves against Sigmar. That's quite fun. There's a part of you that really likes that idea.
I love that.
You know, Sigmar wants. This is a question, a GM question. Sigmar wants to kill his son, apparently.
Kill?
Or
No,
chase
him
him
back.
Get him back.
Mommy, baby. Jesus.
Keeping that child away from Sigmar maybe not doesn't atone for it, but definitely feels like a fuck you
certainly
Sigmar
annoying.
thing.
I mean, it's not in any way going to take a grudge out of your book,
No.
but it's certainly going to be a, well, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killing this child.
Dishonourable. It's not the child's fault.
It's not the child's fault.
No, it's Sigmar's fault. Dwarves are not quite like that. They're not tit for tat in the same way that humans are.
Children don't inherit. Well, they inherit grudges, though,
Yes,
don't
they do inherit grudges, absolutely,
But they
but
don't
it's a
inherit
child.
the blame for
Yeah,
the grudge, I
indeed.
suppose.
And it's all about personal accountability. If that child took on that personal responsibility, then that child could absolutely be killed for that responsibility. But if it didn't, say that's nothing to do with me, then the dwarf would not be in a position to say, then that one person is responsible.
So when a dwarf says like your household has to atone,
Yes, that's the household as a whole needs to atone, and that
Okay.
would include children. But they can't. They're children. They can't make any calls until they're adults.
okay.
Yeah.
You're safe for now.
Listen,
From
well,
the
this
sense
is
is
why I
very
want him
important
to
to
live.
dwarves.
I hope that he can undo what his father has done. I won't be around necessarily to see it, but I need to keep him safe.
You said that you dabbled with the ruinous powers. Have you forsworn them? Given up your...
Yeah, well, I have turned my... I suspect I am beyond hope because I followed my brother's lead. I trusted him.
Yes, but in your heart now.
Yes, now I am...
That name she yelled.
Mm.
Is that a known name?
Do a test.
7 successes?
Yeah, you've heard of it. Demon Prince.
Yeah. I mean, you did rather call the name of
I-
a demon
I,
prince
No,
when you...
that's your name. That's your personal war cry.
Would I admit that?
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing not to admit. It's your personal war cry.
That's my war cry. That's what I
Oh
shout.
dear. I fear for your future.
I fear for my future, which is why I'm worried about my son.
Well, I don't know what is happening.
Her name is the name of a renowned demon prince.
Sigfried turns around and goes, "Is it now?" Looking at you.
Who, me?
I fear that you
It's always
may
cat.
not be around corporeally, but you may well be around.
I know, but it's not the same. I can't educate my child as a...
Edge is closer to the door.
Do you know this for sure? That it's a demon prince? Or have you just read that there is one called her name? Because
You read it.
Yeah, of course I have read it. That's
But
why I said I fear for your future.
But it strikes me that if you have said that there are so many lies in this cult, then would they not spread the lies that
Indeed they might, but
this person was
what,
bad?
what initiated this line of conversation was you pointing out that she had fallen to the ruler's powers and
No.
had not forsworn them.
But she has forsworn them. She told us.
I suspect they have not forsworn me, but I don't see why my child should bear that.
If you never leave this place, you can never become one.
Or alternatively,
You are one.
says Sigfried goes, "Well, it's quite possible that she's exactly where she's supposed to be. We don't know where we are. You're making supposition and guesswork, Elf."
I have a name.
Aye, I know, I've forgotten it.
It is Maracy.
Aye, that. That is fucked up. I kind of want to wake up now,
Well,
if I'm allowed to.
Anyway,
We
I
don't
will
have
go
far.
back.
It's
I will
goes
go.
far.
I will go back to my original point then. Does not matter if you have read her name as a demon prince. If you in your heart forswear them, then that is at least something.
And with those pronouncements, you crest over the top, and ahead of you, you can see the ruinous, twisting stack of floating tower stack of multiple versions of Brass Keep. In the centre of it is one tall, thin, opalescent tower that goes into the clouds above. And around it, there's dwarven ruins, imperial forts, elven buildings, stones twisting, spiraling, a stream of water just moving around at random, stones doing the same on the other side, a fire bursting into life twisting, turning, and disappearing. And there, a great swirl of dust that spins round and goes round to the other side. That, on this side at least, is your quarry. Brass Keep.
Dusty. Dusty.
So that's the place where you need to hit with your hammer then.
We are going in?
And they all look down over this great vista. And at exactly this point, in another space, in another time, a room, Morai Heg, is placed over
That's me.
the point where the crown of sorcery hit. And everything reverts to normal. Instantly. Lucas doesn't wake up, much to his disgust. He really wanted to be waking up right now. He wanted none of this to be real. Instead, Lucas is standing on the very place where you were looking down on Brasskeep before, with the helm of Manfred Ratslayer
On his head.
on his head.
Has peak leveler?
Or who?
That
She does.
She sensibly kept it from the Doom Lord.
On his head, which is quite good. Looking down over Brass Keep in its mundanity now, and the swirling movements of beastmen which have risen up and moving out from an outcrop of rock over at the far side and advancing towards the tower itself. It's a relatively short, squat structure, almost triangular in shape, and you, as your actual characters, are up at the very top of that. Some of you are already beginning to peer over the edge, wondering what's happening, looking down into the gorge and going, there appears to be cultists fighting.
Oh, that's what's up. Who are those numpties on the top?
Is that me half an hour ago?
So Lucas arrives here because this is his time. Many hundreds of years earlier, Marasith, with peak level,
That was my goal.
with peak level,
Always a politician.
appears out from the hell right beside Alaminoway. And as she breaks free from it, she feels finally the return of Ereth Cahill. You had lost her entirely, and you swell and rise on a dark crown made of the bones of the forest rises upon your brow. As to the side, Maruvio, who has been waiting for you, her wings wrapped round, puts one wing and taps you on the shoulder and said, I feared you might die. Maruvio said, don't be ridiculous. I'm not like you. And what are you doing in the future? And it turns into an argument. The heavens rumble. She breaks free and stumbles into the outskirts of a very different brass keep. A brass keep that hasn't been destroyed by the ages in the same way. It still has many of its original dwarven ramparts on the edge of it. But this is where you're meeting the Norsey. It's a well-known location, and nobody goes here. So it's an easy place to ensure that you're not going to get caught by your brother. You can see the Norse group down there, and you hear the whisper. You've almost arrived, Azazel. You've almost arrived. As your eyes flick up and you look down, have you brought him?
Yes, master.
And you take Sigmar's child over to the Norsey. At least that's what you thought you were doing. When a voice from the side goes, hello. I am here to pick up your child. I'm a man with dark hair and black eyes, little whites to either side. He goes, you can call me Egrim. He says, that child is mine. And rams a blade through your throat before you can move. And takes it. Hello, Morka. Oh, hello. Yes. Fuck you! Oh, shit! As you pull the blade out of your shit! Holds the babe and jumps off the side of the cliff. And as he does so, his body ripples over with armor. Wings burst out of his back as he speaks the words of magic, and he drifts off. Mordros! He shouts, "Where the fuck are you?" And in the distance, a dragon swoops out. It's much easier for you. You arrive not more than about 20 feet away from where Lucas is. But you're on the other side of a rock because you're looking down at it all, and the magic has just ended. Balls! The fury runs through you as the winds flood you once more, and you can feel your power returning. Oh. Not the power you need, but the power then... Yeah. Uruk is still more powerful than you. You intended to drain this place, and it's been ruined by whatever has happened up there. Pricks. With annoyance and anger boiling up inside of him, he speaks the dark winds of magic and disappears with a wink and a puff of black, purple, and green. As he rides down through the channels of magic and pulls himself back towards the Forest of Shadows. He can only use that spell once, but he does not trust this place. It's full of danger. The dwarf. The dwarf. She who carries the Book of Grudges for her clan. She is not like everyone else here. Anti-magical by her very nature. And it's the end of the event when she comes out. 2,512 years after Sigmar was first crowned. Now, the old queen of Clan Gazani appears exactly where she disappeared, because unlike everyone else, all the movements they made through this weird dream realm did nothing to her. She just wakes up and comes out where she once was, right on the outskirts, quite far away. And her first thought is, damn traitors. Beyond that, you need to go to your hold. It's good. She recognizes it train enough, and she also knows that no one will. Her hammer's broken.
Can I put Kazrak in my Book of Grudges?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My hammer disappeared before I could kill him.
But you need to get to your people. Your oath demands it.
Yes.
There is nothing else that you can do. You have to get to your people. Your oath demands that you are there to lead them, which means Middenheim, Skog, Middenheim, Skog. Middenheim is probably where they are. So our first stop is Middenheim. And she turns around and she starts stomping. King Arthur. Ghost. Who is a ghost from literally all the way back when he died. Utterly filled with contempt and anger at what had been done to him by Sigmar. A low blow from behind as Sigmar came out of that flame and struck him down. When he was congratulating himself before, obviously, the gathered Ulricans for his great mighty success, and then just walloped from behind by the hammer of fucking Sigmar. You're still angry. You're incredibly angry. And that anger is what led him to not passing on. He refused the cold embrace of Mor. There is no doubt that he will have his revenge, one way or another, upon that craven man. And outside of the weird dream state, he's far less of a man than he was before. Much less. Much, much less than he was. It would be better to describe perhaps as, well, he's a king. He's lost a lot of his humanity. He's got nothing more than his passions now, his deep drive for revenge. Maybe better described as a white king that twists and moves in the barrow where the body was left some 2,500 years earlier and bursts through
No, we are going to be best of friends.
And that leaves us with our glorious heroes having a host of new potential threats, or not, ahead of them. We have ourselves Alaminawith's sister, who is currently with a war party making its way to Middenheim, carrying peak level. A weapon that they have held for hundreds of years. It's a lovely one. I do like that.
Hopefully she's got some people on the Path of Shadows with her. That's all I'm
quite.
saying.
100% safe, I'm sure.
I'm quite glad, like even more glad, that you may fix the spirit inside Middenheim. Otherwise,
They'd have been
be
out
there
in
with
Middenheim,
people
absolutely.
already.
Their war party would have arrived much earlier.
Yeah. Okay.
The child was indeed taken, and indeed taken by someone who was also out of time. Edgarim Van Horseman, the leader of the Cabal. Yeah. Who is coming up with his own ways of attempting to resolve everything, including little baby Morcar. Gotta love it. And then, of course, our favourite Doomlord. What a friendly guy! Now on the other side with dark magic
misunderstood,
flooding through him. He's a far more Doomlord than perhaps the more friendly, almost human version was. A mixture of the different versions of the man that once was and the man he dreamed of being. But the actual truth, as he gathers amongst the dusty remains and calls upon Uruk, because his attempt to reclaim his power at Brass Keep has failed. And Uruk says, "Don't worry, master." He says, "I have another route." He says, "My friend who doomed me, she has a friend by the name of Azazel who has promised you aid." Hey, Doomlord.
Would eat schnitzel with this guy.
Fine.
Union?
Yeah. It'll be fine. Our dwarf passes out of awareness at this point. Where she ends up, I'm sure we'll find out soon.
I'm gonna be so mad when she gets there and there's nobody there.
That only leaves one person left. Sigfeder.
Yes.
Why was he here? Or what was going on with him? Sigfeder doesn't appear beside Lucas because he wasn't, strictly speaking, there. But Sigfeder sort of was. After all, his soul has been claimed by a certain power. A power that was looking after you. Sigfeder was there looking after you. No, you. Looking at the baby beeses. A soul that was lost in that area and very easy to relocate. And it gets dragged, screaming, down into the pits of Slanesh's very dark hells. There for its torment to continue until it says yes. And there, with our lovely little birthday final, you might think we're done, but we're not. Because we have a couple of things to say. Number one, if you are sitting out there going, hey, what about the art competition? Well, it did close today. And if you've still got an idea that you want to draw it down as an arty thing, we've had everything from photographs of cakes getting torn apart by our party. We've had some lovely shots of the party moving down through dungeons. If you don't know what the competition is, go check over our Patreon. You can still drop it in within the next few days because we're going to be reviewing them all for hopefully next week or the week after. But I'm not doing it just now because it's my birthday. So that's number one. Number two, let's go through what their various jobs were for the course of this episode and see who managed to nail it and who did not. I'm going to start off with everyone's favourite dead guy. Ghost Boy, how do you do?
He had
What did you have to do?
Try and convince one of the party to kill the Prophet of Sigmar.
Uh-huh. And what was the exact wording of your one? Not that I like to call out exact wordings or anything.
No.
Hold.
That was good.
Please hold on.
Persuade one of the PCs to hunt down the Prophet of the false god Sigmar and kill him before he ends the world.
Cool. Then the part that I thought was in it isn't. You've succeeded. Good job.
Yay! Well done.
I was about to say, you forgot to get them to swear it by one of their gods, because we said that face to face, but I didn't write it down.
Did we? I don't remember that.
So I am
Honestly,
happy.
I don't.
No, I'm
It's
happy with
not
that not being the case. Great.
Technicality!
Technically, on your side. Woo! Happy birthday to you. What's yours?
Mine was to learn who built Breastrum Migdal originally, which I believe is Meruvium.
Correct. You got it.
Yes.
Good job. It came out. You've done it. You got yours. Everyone's favourite Doom Lord. Definitely a good guy. What was yours?
I had to find out Lucas's lineage.
Lucas's
Oh,
lineage.
You did try.
Yeah.
He did try hard.
Yeah.
But he wasn't for telling and no one was for helping. So
No,
I
no.
didn't realise that.
and multiple people interrupted me while I was trying to do it
Yeah.
as well. And I'm like,
Oh.
Yeah.
so.
It was close. And he almost said it. He almost broke at one point. That was a good strawberry.
Yeah.
So sadly,
I think I played my cards too late because mine was seduce / persuade / charm one of the PCs into swearing to protect you. But by the time we really had an opportunity to have a conversation, too much was known about me for anyone to commit.
and they were already like, I wouldn't protect you.
Well,
Sigfeder would have, but not a PC.
yeah.
I bet you could have made her swear.
Well, I tried, but she
said she couldn't
she
because it
couldn't
already
help
happened.
because of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And
No,
what-
but it wasn't me that said that. It was Sigfeder, wasn't it? He intervened.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, Andrew.
Sigfeder has yet to say yes.
And
He's not a true servant. They were using what tools they could to influence the area, which was an
And
unreliable tool.
Yeah, and that was true,
So I
right?
was more than happy being an unreliable bad guy.
Yeah.
Unreliable too.
That's exactly what he is.
Yeah, Gerhardt would
And then we head over to Maruvio. No. Almanac. No.
Marasi.
Marasi.
Learn facts about the future from these base creatures.
I'm totally feeling an inequality in these secret missions. I'm not gonna lie.
So,
Totally feeling like
I
some
wanna
are easier
hear-
than others.
what facts did you get?
An emperor called Magnus the Pious founded the colleges of magic and was aided by 3 elves from over the sea, one of whom was called Teclis. 3 elves currently live in Middenheim in the current time, Rolana, Gorthiel and Alavandrel, in the time in which Boris Todbringer has lost his sword. Alamenemith, my potential sister, is in the company of Gerhardt of House Jungfreud, someone called Birdie and someone called Leopold. The Lorelorn is still ruled by a queen called Marasi. Unclear whether it's me. The cult of Sigmar is led by a figure called the Grand Theogenist.
Something that by that time she knew already. There was already a Grand Theologist
Well,
by
I
that
didn't
point.
know that.
Yeah.
And I think some guy called Nagash doesn't die.
and gave a crown to some guy called Sigmar. It's all very confusing.
We're currently in the midst of an incursion of chaos.
Yeah, that'll do for me. You've tipped me over the edge. Yep, you got it. Okay, so all bar 2, was it? 2 didn't do?
But
So
we're going to gang up and have our
So-
revenge. So,
Yeah. sorry, you pile of white goop. You have not gained your fate point this day. And lastly,
But you
our
haven't
fixed
gained the
roles could, in
ability to
essence-
fix
then lastly, we arrive at the corner goblin, who is allowed to, for whatever reason she prefers, offer up 1 fate point to anybody. And I'm now going to, just to mix it up on last point, it's for anyone. So the corner goblin, through the course of this adventure, liked something that was said about one of the characters. The corner goblin could give it to that character instead. So it's up to the corner goblin what she wants to do. It could be one of the PCs, but it could be, for example, given to the Doom Lord.
Give it to the gash.
Give it to Nagash.
Do not give the
Nagash.
Doom Lord a fate point.
Nagash.
Whatever you were doing,
Give it
do
to
not
me
give the
first.
Doom Lord a
Episode
fate
first.
point.
Meat pie, meat pie.
You could give it to Meat Pie. Or alternatively, she could even give it to Sigfeder. It's entirely up to her where that particular... Oh, you like that one, did you?
Did you not think? I already thought that, but didn't want to say it out loud in case I jinxed it.
Would
But-
you be able to spend it though?
Yeah.
It's entirely up to the corner
No,
goblin.
Sigfeder.
So,
He'd spend it to
corner, corner goblin, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. And corner goblin, who gets the fate point? Sigfeder. Sigfeder, you kidding me? Okay, and why does Sigfeder get it?
Because he's awesome.
I like him.
Yeah, I like him.
Corner Goblin loves Sigfeder.
Okay, fair enough. The corner goblin loves Sigfeder, and Sigfeder is spat out of the realms of chaos. And that's where we bring the episode to an end. Woo!